into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chop box, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a quick and more.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
I dey go Cambo, everything that we say, for all the plans where we made. I know for sure he gon' make a way. On his road, the only load is how to reach safely. Take me to my destination, and I'll be grateful. We go come, nothing go do we. Them go come, nothing go do them. I thought I'm a new I know for sure he'll be there for me, no matter the conditions of this road. Oh Lord, thank you for giving me travel and mercy. All the times that step out of my house, and the moment I have to go back. Oh Lord, thank you for giving me travel and mercy. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh yes, thanking the Lord for traveling mercies. You know, very important. As you go, you will come back. Yeah, wherever you are going, you will come back.
Amen.
And the cover you are looking for will materialize.
I will never mala.
So that this weekend we can break bread. Because the bakery has been empty for a long time.
Amen.
Oh, Yehoah. No, Jidu is the guy on this song.
Yeah.
Oh, he did a fantastic job.
Solid guy. Solid. Beautiful.
It's called Adego Kam.
Adego Kam. My mother.
Yeah, very. As you are living, yes. Amen.
But what's the import of the song?
Saying that as you are going, you will come back safely.
Okay.
You know, goodness and mercy will follow you.
Yes.
Okay. You will not strike your feet against the rock. Sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The road is clear. No misfortune will befall you.
That's good.
No Okada will come and miss your way, and you run into any wahala with insurance people and police people. So all our listeners, we are praying with you that every endeavor you will go and come. And we will bring you into the newspapers. Now, Business Sense is brought to you by Total Energies, Fidelity, and say again.
It's not Business Sense already.
Oh no, newspaper review. Thank you. You see, I had to go come with that. No, Piva Beverages is sponsoring us with the newspaper review, together with Total Energies as well as Fidelity Bank. Total Energies is saying that as you are kicking off the holiday spirit with our Bronya Loop Bay special from 1st November to 31st January 2025, we are ready to spread some festive cheer. Swing by the Liberation Road, Tessano, Dakuman Link Road, everywhere you find Total. We will fill your tank for you so you can go come. You understand? Visit our socials, Total Energies Ghana on Facebook, on Twitter, Total Energies GH, Instagram, Total Energies GH. And every hour, new pages turn. Every day is a new chapter to keep your dreams alive. Today, you're a tabletop owner. As you go come, you'll be a shopfront owner. Whatever it is that you do adds value to this world. Remember that your efforts are conspiring to make your plans happen. At Fidelity Bank Limited, our purpose is to inspire success and collaborate with you every step of the way. So believe with us because Ebefa. Now, if you're looking for a burst of flavors in every sip, discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. The classic Piva cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. We have the Piva cocktail fruit drink, the grapefruit drink, Piva tangy fruit drink, and so much more. Piva beverages is a taste you love. Call 0550-032-231 for more. It's 39 after 6. Jumping into the news quickly. Richard de la Sky, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. How's it going?
I'm very good. Nathan D. Obudakwa.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Oh, correct, sir.
I'll be there inside.
If it's so, everything fine.
Have a good one.
Yeah,
Small,
today be 25th, so Charlie, brothers excite. Said by the time we go count, then Charlie will make heavy. Yeah. Black Gobo. A lot of sandals, empty pockets. Go be.
The news center says this morning,
Yes.
police grab gun wielding suspect. You know about that thing that happened close to Nima Mamobi areas. We're told that they've been hunting him for weeks now, and they've now finally grabbed him. Also, over 100 Ghanaians abroad issued Ghana cards.
Right.
And something here that says that 5-day fair to Herald Farmers Day on November 8th.
The Daily Graphic says prioritize development plan over manifestos, economists to parties. Ayoko Boch revised for Commonwealth Secretary General position tomorrow. Test before treating malaria. Professor Ansa Kram advises public. And on the Kaswa ritual murder, 18-year-old jailed for life. And Yoko Boss others honored for distinguished service. And on the back page of the Daily Graphic, women advised to prioritize their health to safeguard their lives and businesses.
And the Chronicle comes with a story from the Mamobi Nima area about the man arrested. Also on the front page this morning, Kaswa ritual murder, one jailed for life, another 3 years. Also on the front page this morning, you uphold values of integrity, hard work. Keta Chiefs to Baumia.
Right.
The Daily Guide says Kaswa teen killer jailed for life. And then the police also here. Police grab Mamobi gun suspect. Keta resident mob Baumia, and Cozy empowers 150 at Denton youth.
The Daily Searchlight says this morning, vote for Alan to end leadership crisis in Ghana. This coming in from Boniface Abubakar, former minister for water resources, works and housing. Also on the front page this morning, Keta Chiefs express confidence in Baumia's bold policies for Ghana. And support Accra Rehabilitation Center, Kofi Yeboah, is quoted here saying, and some of the stories here on the front page.
The Herald says NDC and MPs mount pressure on Speaker to open Parliament as legislative deadlock arrests 2025 budget. Nkrofo chief accuses Elembele DCE of illegal mining, demands presidential crackdown. ASAP's detailed rebuttal leaves Kevin Autry Springfield speechless on Afina oil field data issues. And Ghana police went debt collection in next-gen Infraco officers' abduction. That's in quotes. The abduction is in quotes.
I think it has to be some investigations into that. The Ghanaian publisher says this morning, Akufo-Addo to commission largest northern gold mine in November. This is according to Abu G. Napo. I'm reading it as is. Also, Paramount Chief of Aveno applauds NPP. Snitch will work to strengthen the scheme further. That's coming in from the Director General. And what's the latest on the hotel sale? I mean, nothing. We've not heard anything about that for a while. Now, DDEP saved Ghana about $12 billion US. That's according to the finance minister. Is that really savings?
Yeah, that's
our obligations.
yeah.
It's not really savings.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the question people
depends
have
on
been
how you look at
asking. The Inquisitor would not disappoint with its daily serving of Napo. So DMB will offer free duty on cars for nurses. Napo speaking. To the other stories, interesting times. Subing MP Pamels Gabi. That's on pages 4 and 5. Springfield ENP moves to advance Ghana's oil production as it secures rig to appraise Afina well. And they say coming up, long arms of politicians in the moves to oust Kwewu Manhene.
The Informer says Curtin Not clergy tout Baumia's qualities, describes him as visionary, incorruptible, and decent. Also on the front page this morning, election 2024, Christian Council holds parties to pact as NCCE warns of elections-related violence. MP speak up, 8th Parliament achieves less. And the story about UTAC abandoning Galamsey strike also makes the front page.
The Republic Press says Dubai to despair. Destitute community claims Circle overpass. And there are pictures of tents and rubbish and all beneath the Kwame Nkrumah Circle overpass. Agric Minister pushes for digital farming to transform agricultural sector. Kaswa killers cage. Ritual murders face life behind bars. And in the Ashanti region, parents urged to prioritize actions to mitigate childhood lead poisoning.
The Daily Post, finally from me, says failed economist Baumia in hot waters. Also on the front page, Mahama supports six former Black Stars player. And NDC will not sign any peace pact until killers from 2020 polls are arrested. This is coming in from Johnson Ketia, aka General Mosquito.
The Catholic Standard says greatness lies in humble service. That's on its front page. Cardinal Texin calls for integrity to build a corruption-free Africa. Bishop declines promotion to cardinal, and the editorial says making the church more relevant through synodality. And then one final headline: Catholic population shrinks in Europe, rises in Africa.
Right, let me take you online very quickly, starting from citynewsroom.com, where we are told Islamist militants are using northern Ghana as base for logistics support. Yeah, and Nungwa Mancha, elected new president of Greater Accra House of Chiefs. Cholera kills 2 people at Adan. Mortuary workers threaten to strike again. Volta youth attracted to Baumia's vision for Ghana. This is Kofi Tonto. Empowering auditing institutions key to curbing fiscal irresponsibility. This is Domelevo speaking. If you go to channel1news.com, Baumia, our record will secure us victory in December polls. Election 2024, we will surprise MPP Beatrice Annan speaking. Galamsey, we've not called off strike. It's only a suspension. This is UTAC speaking. And police arrest Fatao motorway over Mamobi NDC NPP clash. If you go to my journal online, mortuary workers are here as well. Sahel jihadists find refuge and supplies in northern Ghana. Sources say that's here as well. Strengthening audit institutions essential for tackling fiscal mismanagement. This is Domelevo. Bank staff lifestyle audits vital to fraud prevention. This is John Ewa. And NSMQ 2024, Presec secures semi-final slot, kicks out Pope John and St. James Seminary in thrilling showdown. And Fanspim School outshines Prempeh College in a thrilling tiebreaker to secure semi-finals. And US gets $100 million settlement for Baltimore Bridge collapse. If you go to Ghana News Agency, World Bank commits $9 billion to agribusiness, calls for inclusive ecosystem. Ghana's finance minister proposes transparency, shared burden in Africa's debts recovery. And then if you go to BBC and CNN, first BBC, death trap, channel boats traded by smugglers in Germany city. This is an undercover by the BBC. Putin challenged over Ukraine war by BBC's Steve Rosenberg. And then finally, is a new axis emerging. You see North Korea, Iran, and China support Russia's war. Alarm is rising in the West. These are some of the stories coming from the international platforms. We can give you details of the stories now as police grab gun-wielding suspect.
Yeah, that's a major development because we want to ensure that there will be no violence before, during, and after the 2024 election. So that story is on page 2 of the news center this morning, and it says the Ghana Police Service has apprehended Fatau Ibrahim, also known as Fatau Motorway, who was declared wanted in connection with the violent disturbances that took place at Mamobi in Accra. Now, he's currently in custody of the police and is expected to be brought before court shortly. Now, the arrest followed disturbances that occurred on October 13, 2024, during a political campaign walk involving supporters of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress. Now, tensions escalated between the two groups, resulting in a violent clash. Now, in the aftermath of the incident, Fatau Motorway was seen in video footage wielding a firearm, prompting the police to issue a 20,000 Ghana cedi bounty for credible information leading to his arrest. Now, before Fatau Motorway's arrest, one individual had already been taken into custody in connection with the chaos. Now, 9 victims who sustained injuries during the clash were treated and discharged from hospital.
To the other story from the court or in relation to law enforcement and all of that, Kaswa teen killer jailed for life. The story is written by Jibril Abdul Razak on page 3 of the Daily Guide, and it says Nicholas Kinney, one of the 2 teenagers who killed a 10-year-old boy Kaswa in 2021 for money rituals, has been sentenced to life imprisonment by a high court in Accra yesterday. His co-accused, whose name is withheld, who is a minor, was also convicted on 2 charges of conspiracy to commit murder and a substantive charge of murder, but the court referred his sentencing to the juvenile court as he was a minor at the time he committed the crime. The 2 lured the victim into an uncompleted building where they killed him with the intent of using his body for money rituals. Luck eluded them and they were caught. The trial judge, Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo, a justice of the appeal court sitting as an additional high court judge, in her summary of the evidence to the jury, blamed the act of the teenagers on parental neglect. And she said, quote, "The parents of the present generation are asleep, while their children who should be asleep by them are widely awake." The consequence is a silent pandemic eroding our society and condemning our future generation to a life of trauma.
Okay, so let's stay in the courts quickly. There's one story I want to bring to your attention from the Chronicle. Court rules on Thompson and others' application on November 29. Now, Ben is basically reporting that the High Court Accra has set a November 29, 2024 date to deliver its ruling on a submission of no case to answer filed by the former Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, Ernest Thompson, and 4 others. Now, the accused are facing charges related to the acquisition of the SNIT operational business suit, OBS, project, which was supposed to have been valued at 14.8 million US dollars, and the further details are here in the story. Elsewhere in the paper, on the same page, bench warrant issued for 70-year-old businessman in fraud case.
There's a troubling one online. Islamist militants using northern Ghana as base for logistical support. Sources review citynewsroom.com, and it says that Islamist militants fighting in Burkina Faso are discreetly using Ghana's north as a logistical and medical rare base to sustain their insurgency. 7 sources told Reuters, a move that could help them expand their footprint in West Africa. The sources, who include Ghanaian security officials and regional diplomats, said Ghanaian authorities appear to be mostly turning a blind eye to the insurgents crossing over from neighboring Burkina Faso to stock up on food, fuel, and even explosives, as well as getting injured fighters treated in hospitals. But they said that that approach, while also far sparing Ghana from the kind of deadly Islamist attacks that have plagued its neighbor, risks allowing militants to put down roots in the country and recruit in some marginalized local communities. It's a very disturbing one, Sky.
Wow, very disturbing one. I hope that the security services are watching the space, closely, and that they will do everything there is to do lawfully to deal with the incursion, if indeed the reports are true. But let's do some quick politics. If I take you to the Informer newspaper, they say Ketu North clergy tout Bawumia's qualities and describing him as a visionary, incorruptible and decent. The story says the clergy in Ketu North in the Volta region have applauded Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's qualities and expressed their hope and confidence in his administration if he becomes the President of the Republic of Ghana. And according to them, the Vice President possesses a lot. There's actually a lot of sterling qualities, that's what it should be, such as he being a visionary, incorruptible, and decent. Quickly, there's also another story about Bawumia. Looks like a lot of the folks in the Volta region are saying very positive things about Bawumia. I'm not so sure what's going on. Now, if you go to page 2 of the Ghanaian publisher, they also have a story that says Paramount Chief of Avenor applauds NPP. And there's another story that says Keta Chiefs also have said something really beautiful about so that story is on the front page of
Daily Searchlight.
So I don't know what
Daily Guard also has it on page 6. But staying with politics, the front page of the Daily Graphic says prioritize development plan over manifestos.
Okay,
that's the word from two economists, Professor Peter Korte and an economics researcher, Dr. Said Boachi, and the two have called for the prioritization of the National Development Plan over political party manifestos, indicating that this was the right path to a coordinated development. And they were speaking to the Daily Graphic after the launch of the manifestos of the NDC and MPP, which the parties are now using to canvass for votes ahead of the December election.
Let me stay with politics. If you go to the Daily Post, there's a story there that says NDC will not sign any peace pact until killers from 2020 polls are arrested. It's quoting Johnson Estidun Katia, and the story was held from classfmonline.com. It says the national chairman of the opposition National Democratic Congress NDC, Mr. Johnson Estidun Katia, has reiterated the party's decision not to sign the peace pact proposed by the National Peace Council ahead of the December 7, 2024 elections. Now, the peace pact designed to ensure political leaders commit to maintaining peace during and after the elections has been endorsed by various stakeholders. However, the NDC remains firm in its refusal to sign the
on
same.
Politics, if I bring you to channel 1 news.com, election 2024, we will surprise NPP. This is Beatrice Annan, spokesperson for John Dramani Mahama's campaign. She's expressed confidence that the National Democratic Congress will secure victory in the upcoming 2024 general elections, catching the NPP off guard. She stated that the NDC is using a strategy that will take the NPP by surprise. Speaking on Eyewitness News, she cited multiple international polls, including Fitch, EIU, Global Info Analytics, which all points to the NDC forming the next government, emphasizing that the party is not only focusing on campaigning, but also putting the necessary structures in place to govern effectively if elected.
Let me take one more political story. If you go to the Daily Searchlight, vote for Alan to end leadership crisis in Ghana. Boniface Abubakar is quoted here. It says the Northern Regional Coordinator for Alliance for Change, Boniface Abubakar Siddiq, has blamed Ghana's persistent struggles on bad leadership, citing the country's vast natural resources that remain underutilized for the benefit of the masses. Now, speaking at Boku Nabas Palace, as part of the Alliance's Upper East Regional Tour, Siddiq emphasized that Ghana's riches, including timber, gold, manganese, oil, and bauxite, have failed to translate into meaningful development for all Ghanaians due to ineffective governance. Now, he says that Alan is the man to basically answer the question.
Meanwhile, Trump and Harris are also trudging it out there as the big day comes closer for Americans.
November.
That's right, but that's how
Early voting is ongoing.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Donatus.
Oh, you think he's going to take it this time?
Don Trump.
We'll see about it.
We'll wait and see.
We'll see about it. But that was the newspaper review. Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Nathan.
Oh, jump on now.
Go, the go. Go me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind safe be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Yo, Pana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Charlie, today the matter will catch me. I received urgent order from my online store. Customer wants 10 pieces sharp. Hey, but my wahala be delivery. Stress so me too. I no get order in weeks. So then I make slow. Charlie, I decide to deliver this thing myself. Quiet. I was willing to trust my small tired car like that. But boy, I no even leave my area where the whole place full of snow. Engine kaput, Pascal. Ask the boys they help me push the car off the road. Where I look up and raise my head. Where I see for Fidelity Bank billboard top. This too just be chapter. Ebefa mpa. Then Norma Vim come. Listen, I dog the sadness and find Okada fast. I deliver all the goods, collected my money, and even got referrals from this customer. Ebefa mpa. At Fidelity Bank, we believe you can achieve your dreams. Believe with us. Ebefa.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangy fruit drink, bursting with tangy flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's 7:01. Neil Latte is in with the business news. City Business News is brought to you by MTN. Get ready for a game changer. SMEs, we're introducing the Yellow Biz, new multi-service bundle with everything you need for smarter business solutions. Whatever you can think of, 4G plus router with 10 GB of free data, Microsoft Office 365, genuine Microsoft applications, web-based Unicom servers, just name them and we got them. Stay ahead of the competition. Call 100 or 0244308111. Email mtnbusiness.gh@mtn.com. Visit mtn.com.gh/business or any MTN office for your Yellow Biz and stay connected everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply. Saying a special good morning to Neil Latte.
A special good morning to you, Caleb, as well.
How are you doing this morning?
How about you?
Excellent. I'm very good, thank you. What's in the business news?
Well, it's Friday. Welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and Access Bank. I am Neil Latte. This morning, we begin with issues that have to do with the economic element of the current development in Parliament and huge public sector funding gaps, including a possible non-payment of salaries of government workers, discontinuation of infrastructural projects and policy interventions, are some of the likely economic and social implications should government fail to present its 2025 mini-budget due to the current stalemate in Parliament. The tussle in the House, if not resolved for MPs to record from the indefinite adjournment before the end of this year, will have some impact on government's fiscal priorities and funding allocations. In the following report, I look at some of the potential consequences of not reading the mini-budget in an election year. Only one major development is bound to happen should we go into such a dire situation. That is, there will be a complete government shutdown, at least for the first 3 months of 2025. Remember, the appropriation of the current budget runs until December 31, 2024. And so if the mini-budget is not presented for it to be approved before year ending, it will only mean the government will technically not be able to spend from January 1, 2025. The next government will also not be able to carry out its revenue and expenditure between the period it takes over from January 7, 2025 and the time it presents its own budget, likely to happen somewhere in March or even April next year. Without the mini-budget, the government may face difficulties in meeting its fiscal commitments, say the payment of salaries to government workers. Such a situation would not only impact livelihoods but could also dampen consumer confidence and spending, stifle economic growth, erode investor confidence, and also the gains made under the ongoing IMF program. The implementation of infrastructural projects and other essential policy interventions could also come to a halt as a result, which may exacerbate public discontent. But what is the long-term effect and risk of such a funding shortage? It is the impact on macroeconomic indicators such as inflation, growth, credit ratings, and even the performance of the local currency, especially at a time these indicators are improving following government's successful completion of its debt restructuring on both the domestic and external side. Therefore, to avert any of these possibilities and economic distortion, which could further strain the country's already limited finances, only a time-short resolution of the impasse is needed for the House to be recalled to consider, among other government businesses, the presentation of the mini-budget, all things being equal. Meantime, financial economist Professor Lord Mensah says government should channel resources into developmental projects rather than granting tax breaks to companies. This, he believes, could have long-term benefits for the economy. His comment is on the heels of the request for a recall of Parliament to discuss among urgent government business tax waivers for some firms under the 1D, 1F program. Professor Lord Mensah, in an interview with Citi Business News, indicated that tax waivers have not yielded any economic benefit.
If you talk about tax waivers, I always put my mind, economic has to do with history. I mean, we've been giving tax waivers over the past years and we've not realized any benefit from it. Then why would government give a tax waiver when they have the opportunity to take the money up front and then do whatever they want to do with it? So it depends on where the tax waiver is going. Is it going to sectors of the economy that will come and create jobs? Sectors of the economy that will increase our production, sectors of the economy that will enhance export, to beef up our foreign exchange. I mean, I don't have problem with tax waiver, but I mean, for looking at the history and then in the past, I mean, you realize that we have been given, tax waivers, but they are all on political lines, not necessarily, giving tax waivers to boost, the economy. So I think, looking at the history, the tax waivers are not necessary. Where government will be better off take the taxes and then use the money to create jobs as it's supposed to be, rather than allowing it to sip into the economy, which will not necessarily build up into anything.
Professor Lord Mensah is a financial economist and also a finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, now senior partner at AB and David Africa. David Ofosu-Dorte is urging the government to conduct a comprehensive analysis of the value addition of the country's mineral resources. He maintains that such a study would help the government identify key areas for investment in the processing of the country's abundant mineral deposits. Here is David Ofosu-Dorte speaking at a stakeholder forum here in Accra.
And for me, you cannot create a value addition without having a comprehensive study or a comprehensive analysis of the value chain. And I don't want to do the Ghana thing of waiting to complete policy framework, etc. before we start. We can start whilst we continue developing and adding, as it were, portions to leverage what we already have and what we are doing. So let's look at what other countries have done. And I've listed the countries in order of what I think they have done most. South Africa has its economic challenges, all right, but over the period, you can see that creating the entire platinum group metals have led to the local production of catalytic converters, a jewelry market, electronic components, etc. And the Department of Mineral Resources ensures a coordinated approach, especially between private sector and industry.
David Ofosu-Dorte is senior partner at AB and David Africa. On the forex market this morning, the dollar trading at 16 cedis 50 pesos, the British pound at 21 cedis 20 pesos, that of the euro going for 18 cedis 20 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil and Access Bank. My name is Neil Latte. Do have a good business day. Next is the City Business Edition. Do stay tuned in.
For over 60 years, Good Energy has served you top quality fuels. Goil brings you Super XP for a smooth ride. It is available in Goil stations nationwide. Goil Super XP is fortified with special additives which help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Goil Super XP is quality fuel, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Energize your ride with Goil Super XP. Who feel ya? Huh? Who be feel? Good energy. Yeah,
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Oh my, it's Lexus on a bit.
Guinea, ice.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
11 after 7. We'll bring you City Business Edition shortly as Bernard Avle sits with the coordinator of the Drive Electric Initiative in Ghana. He doubles as an energy analyst working with the Energy Commission of Ghana. So he'll be speaking with the coordinator of the Drive Electric Initiative in Ghana, as well as an energy analyst who works with the Energy Commission of Ghana. The two will be talking about energy transition and electric vehicle adoption in Ghana. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you need to send money to the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, it's much easier now through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems PAPS. You can send and receive money from these countries in minutes for business and personal purposes. All you need to do is to visit any of our branches. First Bank Ghana branch nationwide, with your cash and your money is transferred in no time. Receive money. All you need is a First Bank Ghana account. This is how we put you first. For more information, please call 0596 921 921. First Bank, you first. Get ready for more money and even more money. Telecel More Money promo just got excited with 2 extra months, giving you even more chances to win big. We're now rewarding 4 lucky winners with 30,000 Ghana cedis every week and 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. All this is still up for grabs. Keep purchasing data or airtime, reloading your data on your fixed broadband to get closer to becoming a millionaire. Dial star 500 hash or send win to 500. Visit the Telecel Play app to opt in for free. It's a promo that's regulated by NLA on its Caritas Lottery platform. Telecel is connecting energies. I know you want a British degree at a fraction of the cost. You want a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you the step closer to your career, the career of your dreams. Enjoy all these and more, plus up to 50% scholarship for your degree at Lancaster University, Ghana. You'll be taught by the finest faculty trained to UK standards. For more information, visit www.lancaster.edu.gh. Email admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Call 0209607008. Lancaster University, Ghana is the only British university campus in West Africa. So let's jump on to business edition this morning. We're talking electric vehicles. We're talking Ghana's Energy Commission. We're looking at our energy transition and electric vehicle adaptation in Ghana. Bernard Avle and his guests. Enjoy.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
Edition here on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Bernard Avle. Today we'll be talking to one of the faces of the Drive Electric initiative in Ghana, an energy analyst and a Yale Climate Fellow with many years of experience in clean energy, sustainable development, with particular expertise in sustainable energy and transport initiatives. She's also a champion of energy efficiency research, auditing, emerging technologies, planning and policy. So quite a lot for my guest, Doris Edem Agbevivi. Welcome to the Citi Business Edition, Doris.
Thank you, Bernard.
Did I describe you properly?
Yes, you did. You did justice to it.
You spent the past 7 years at the Energy Commission, pushing the Drive Electric initiative. So before we get into that, how can somebody be fascinated by some of the things I mentioned? Clean energy, sustainable development, transport. It sounds some way. For some people, it's like, why does that area excite you and give you so much energy?
Because it's the future, really. Sustainability is the future. Clean energy is the future. Clean transportation is the future. And so an emerging techs and what they're going to do for us is where we're going in the future, right? You're talking AI. We're talking about all of these emerging techs, blockchain technology and everything. These are what is going to define the future. So it may look a bit far-fetched today, but it's what is going to define the future. And for me particularly, that's why it excites me, really.
A lot of times when I hear people talk about the need for sustainability and things like clean energy, the skeptics say, oh, don't mind these Europeans. They've done all the dirty energy and develop, and then they come and tell us that we should do sustainability and green energies, which cannot power development. So there's a lot of skepticism around that in Africa. As an African who's driving this type of thing across the continent, how do you feel when you hear that?
I feel they are justified to a large extent, but they also need to think about the future. And that should, I don't like to take any sides. I think everybody is justified in where they're coming from their thoughts. Let me explain to you why I feel they're justified. It's true that if you contribute about just 4% to all your emissions, you shouldn't be now asking me to clean my house. And it's true that, Europe in the industrial ages, the UK, for instance, were just blowing steam all over, right? And that alone, what the emissions you created out of that, it's true that you have powerhouses like China and the rest all blowing around, so you don't put so much emphasis on Africa now. But it is also true that the future relies on us, we those now here. So how do we now approach the future from this perspective to the others? I keep saying that it's not so much about whether we did so much to cause it, but it's so much about whether we are resilient enough when things start going wrong. COVID taught us a beautiful example about how our continent is not resilient to be able to come on when there are such attacks, and when there are climate-related attacks, what do we do? That becomes the conversation. So we have to make a move because we are not at a position that can take the disasters as and when they come through. So it's true that we haven't done so much, but it's also true that we are also not resilient enough to take the hits when they come. So
it's almost like you are not part of the problem that caused the disturbance in the classroom, but when the teacher comes, everybody will be punished.
Thank you.
So you better be prepared to mitigate the effects of the action that you probably did not lead. This is what you're saying in English.
This is what I'm saying, and it may sound unfair, but again, if there's a climate disaster now, it doesn't concentrate that this is Europe, I'm going to only affect Europe, I'm going to only affect. When there's a climate disaster, when it's about the environment, it affects everybody. So you are not particularly going to now say, oh, because Europe caused it, let Europe alone be affected. The environment knows, the nature knows all at one. When you gather rubbish in front of your house and my house is next to yours and you think you swept your side, but I have gathered rubbish, guess what? When it rains, the rubbish will come to your side, even though you cleaned your side so well, even though you didn't have anything to cause on that problem. But my rubbish will come to yours. It's the unfairness of it. And that is why when we start making conversations like Europe should pay for it, the damages, it becomes a bit more interesting.
Is that why we hear things like just transitions?
Thank you.
What do they mean by a just energy transition, for example?
It's just saying everybody should transition, but we should transition based on your capacity to transition, based on the resources that you have available. It has to be just based on what you have to be able to take that transition. So Europe can transition based on what they have now. Norway at this point has almost over 90% concentration of electric vehicles, for instance. When they are transitioning, they shouldn't we will not transition at the same pace as Norway is transitioning. The justness of the transition is about the ability to take it, our resources, right, and of course the technology we have to be able to back it up. But the biggest of all is the financing you have to be able to take it. So it should be just based on these tenets that you want to use to explain the conversation, really.
There are some buzzwords now that we hear. Climate change is one, sustainable development is another, and then energy transitions is also there. Renewable energy also comes in. Are two things? Are these ideas related? And also, do they merit there's a certain fancy, they sound sexy now. Every program you go to, climate transition, are these as core as they sound, right? Because there are people who still need food to eat, people who don't have houses to live in, people who are living in very precarious situations. Yet we keep hearing climate adaptability, climate mitigation. These are nice things. But again, as somebody who understands the global picture but also works in the reality of Africa, do you think these terms are worth the attention we give them? And also try and break them down for it to make sense to those who don't really work in that sector. So 2-in-1 question.
Yes. Bernard, let me just say it this way. Somebody is hungry on the streets, right? You still have to reduce your emissions. I think for the person hungry on the streets, all they think about is how you're going to feed me, right? And then you are also looking at your emissions and that angle of it. They are both equally important, and I want to point it out that they are both equally important. And I think the conundrum when it comes to us here in Africa is trying to balance economic development with this transition. the fact that you had a whole host of people that economically developed on cheap fuel. We're talking again on very affordable fuel that was pushed by coal and so many conversations, right? Now, the conversation we have on developing on clean energy is a different thing. It becomes a bit more expensive than the cheaper form of energy that some part of the world did develop with. So it becomes a conversation that you ask yourself, where does climate change come in that conversation? Where does energy transition place in that conversation? Are these buzzwords, or are we saying that sustainability is something we should look at today for the future? The person, hungry or not, if he eats, he needs to survive for tomorrow. Whether there is an environment to be able to live in tomorrow also should be a question that the person who is hungry should ask themselves. I hope we get what I'm saying. Yes, hunger, it's important. Yes, we are treating that. But at the same time, after you've given the person food to eat and they have everything, and where would they stay in if there is no environment to live in tomorrow? So I believe that these issues are all equally important. We should give it equal attention. It's not just a buzzword as much as we have come to speak about it. Nature sustains itself. We have to now help nature to sustain itself, not go the reverse, because the world was sustaining itself in the days where we didn't have all of this new techs and all that we were doing, right? So we just have to come back to a place where we're leaning more towards the environment and naturals than we are leaning towards the artificials and being able to emit more, right? But in doing this also, you have the fine line in between that becomes that, oh, you have to be able to make sure you have. And that's where the SDGs come in, right? The 17 SDGs. Somehow, somewhere, there is a no hunger. But somehow, somewhere, there is climate action. And somehow, somewhere, on number 7, there is clean energy, right? So universal access to energy becomes number 7. There is a 13 that's talking about climate action, right? But then there is a 2 that's also talking about what? No hunger, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, that all of them are equally important. We have to be able to balance the scales and be able to drive the attention that we need to all of them at the same time. It's like a bicycle. We have to be moving forward, but at the same time, we have to be pedaling, right? So we're doing that balancing act, which needs to go on.
This is a City Business Edition. We're having a chat with the coordinator of the Drive Electric Initiative in Ghana, Doris Edem-Abevivi, who's an energy analyst with interest in clean energy, sustainable development, and the rest of it. Started off by giving us some broad strokes. I want you to talk about the current job you do as I call you the main advocate for the Drive Electric Initiative. What is the Drive Electric Initiative, by the way? And why is that such an important part of, or why should that be an important part of our urban development strategy?
Drive Electric Initiative is just an initiative that I started somewhere in 2019 with my boss then. It was because we looked at certain things in the environment that needed to change in our context, Ghana. One of them being the fact that we needed to find demand, we needed to create demand in the system to take our supply capacity that we have as a country in energy terms, and the future of energy in that context. The second one was also looking at the fact that what else could drive that development? It was transportation, because you had residential using electricity, industry using electricity. Beyond these two, what else could create demand in the system? It was transportation, because if you take all of the vehicles in Ghana and electrify those transportations, the emissions that you could get out of the savings on emissions would be very huge. Mm-hmm. But I think we think of it in the very final terms. Oh, when are we changing all the vehicles? No, we are not. We need to start somewhere, and that is the birth of the Drive Electric Initiative, an initiative to bring the conversations to where we need to start from, right? To start putting the groundwork together. Somebody needed to come and start, right? And so it was an initiative started in 2019, which I started against all odds, I would say, because nobody ever believed that Ghana should be talking about electric mobility as you have today, that is being talked about so much. But there were key things that needed to happen for that demand to be created in the system. There were a lot of advent benefits, emissions, air pollution on our roads. Really, our air quality in Accra was another benefit as a result of it. There was the benefit of dumping, being able to, when I talk about dumping, I'm like vehicles coming into Africa, like the used vehicles. We hear of all of the things. Europe, by 2030, most European countries would have all gone electric. Ask yourself, Bernard, where are the cars coming to? I mean, I was at UNEP last time, and the conversations was over 50% of the vehicles that come to the continent are used, right? And then when you come to Ghana, over 80% of our vehicles are used. We are going to be having those dumping of vehicles. What conversations, where do we start from to bring the conversation? You know, we have to start from somewhere, bring the conversations to bear, start working on it. So that was the birth of the Drive Electric Initiative. It started as that, and we looked at key components that could make this work. Awareness creation. You can't tell people to do something they don't know anything about, and that's where you see key of it being awareness. Then there was you making sure there is policy, right, to drive this whole initiative forward. There was a talk on such standards and regulations, right, about looking at the whole charging infrastructure framework. How are we going to approach it as Ghana? Are we going to approach it as the West did, where the West had maybe the government pushing all the charging stations? I looked at Ghana, I looked at where we were as a country. I think it was a private sector push, but the private sector pushing is required a public sector partnership, right? Then I looked at incentives, the fact that without incentives, you are not going to have these deeper penetrations that you are hoping for, right? And so this was the birth of the Drive, and these are the things I set out to work on. So it was in that way, trying to tick these boxes, right? Looking at data and trying to get the conversations right on this. So it made me start this initiative, as you saw. I mean,
so this Drive Electric initiative has been with us since 2019.
Yes,
so we are in its 5th year.
Yes.
And how is that going between 2019, when the original conversations were had and a few conferences? How well has the country moved within that space?
I think with regards to all the challenges that I had to really come up against, with regards to all that, the fact that there wasn't that much enthusiasm around mobility and everything back then, I would say we've done really quite interesting work so far. Because in 2019 October, when the minister, the then minister, Deputy Minister of Energy, William Oreku, and then Oreku Edu, and then Osafo Mafo, then the senior minister, then where, if you watch, were together with my executive secretary and myself inaugurating the project. After October, I had to now go see most people to get them to be on board on this. But then there was the 2020 January, February, and then there was the onset of COVID, and then everything just went down the drain, right? So the support to be able to get advocacy out and all now went down the drain. But then by the end of the year, I started now working towards how to do some of the biggest things to bring the conversations back to where it was. And that was what you saw birth the e-mobility conference, the first e-mobility conference we had as a country.
This was 2021?
2021 in September. And this was purely funded by people in the industry. It was by the private sector coming on board. It was by some of the public sector institutions all funding it in such a way to bring the conversations. And Bernard, if I tell you the feedback I got from people after that conference, because there was the feedback for most people, that was the first time they were seeing an electric car. I mean, I know that not all the media personalities were there, but it was exciting to see the school people in Kumasi Tech or in all that who had the opportunity to pass through Sunyani Tech and say, okay, they see a Wuling for the first time, right? They want to open the bonnet to see what is there. Is there really not a battery? You got the excitement up, and I'm like, this is how you want people to be able to understand what you are talking about. It's like you're telling someone there's something called an electric vehicle. It only uses a battery. It doesn't have an engine, a pure electric vehicle in this case. It doesn't have an engine. It doesn't even have an exhaust fume. All they're doing is trying to imagine it. They don't even see how it even looks like. Neither do they even get to know the benefits. So I think that was the onset of it. And that space brought together a lot of the policy people that are needed in the conversation. Remember, we have a plan. The plan was to make sure policy was in place, the regulations were going on, to set the groundwork right. If the private sector was going to come into work, government needed to do what we needed to do, right? So
within the 5 years, you would say the various stakeholders sort of they have a meeting of minds around where we are going.
I totally would say that.
And these stakeholders will include obviously the Ministry
of Transport, the Ministry of Energy. The Ghana Standards Authority that does most of the Ministry of Finance that came through to get out through the incentives, right? The GRA, Customs, in terms of trying to implement the incentives that we have really. The EPA now doing the e-waste policy and all of the conversation that's going to come in when it comes to the batteries and afterlife.
So all these actors sort of know where we are going with the transition into e-mobility.
I would believe that, yes, they all.
And we've held a couple of e-mobility conferences. I think we did 2023 and 24 as well.
Yeah, so 2022 wasn't a pure conference; it was a charging forum.
Okay.
So this one was purely based on the charging, right? So
how to charge the vehicle.
Yeah, to bring the business, the technology, and policy to one place. So I brought in actors from the IEA, from Dundee City,
where
from
IEA is
the International Energy Agency based in Paris. So these are all the people that had worked with over the time, the international community. You know, I actually will go to most of these conferences to do presentations and stuff, right? So this is my leverage, right? So you do when
and
it's time to call them for you
because
to
you're
come.
saying Ghana is ready, so come and help us to start.
Exactly.
Is it fair to say you are the face of the e-mobility space in Ghana? Is it fair if I said that?
I mean, people call me Miss Evie, so
Miss Evie.
I think it's fair.
There have been conferences I've attended where you are the only woman on the panel. Sometimes you're moderator, sometimes you are the one who's being interviewed. There don't seem to be a lot of women in the space that you are in. Am I correct?
That's fair. Yes, you are correct. I would say there isn't that many women in the field, but I think it's something you see. It mirrors the energy industry mostly, where the
energy industry generally doesn't have that many women.
It mirrors it in a way, but now it's becoming a thing of the past where you're having a lot of women come into the.
But how did you become so interested? How did you enter this sector?
I enter spaces that I want to enter, that I'm passionate about, but they're not because I have a room there. I mostly don't get a seat at the table, but I take my seats mostly. I'll say it that way.
Where did you get the passion for this e-mobility thing? This
e-mobility passion, weirdly enough, it stemmed from the oil and gas section. It's weird because, after my master's, when I came back to Ghana, I had my master's in energy economics, right? So I started working on the planning and policy side at the Energy Commission. And planning and policy always meant that we're looking at data, you're doing projections, right? And one of the things we do at the Energy Commission is this outlook we produce. We call it the Ghana Energy Outlook Report, right? And it gives you all the data on the energy use. So you are seeing that renewable is not growing, right? You're seeing that there could be something we could do to make renewable grow. You're seeing that you have supply, and how do you get to use that supply really? And these are where the conversation on innovative things that could bridge the gap, right, in terms of transport electrification. So I would say that where I've gotten to stem from my journey from energy into oil and gas, into all the planning bits, to be able to see and project the future and say, how do we make renewable become a conversation? How do we make... Yes, gas will still be the conversation, our hydro will still be the conversation, but how do we start taking baby steps, right? Taking the steps towards that, and that's where this whole transport electrification came. But also, once I'm passionate about something, it means that I think they call passion a fuel, right?
So it fuels what you do.
Yeah, it fuels
So you did a master's in energy economics at Aberdeen.
Yes.
But I suspect you have some science background as well, because quite a lot of the work in the space is pure science.
Yes, I actually did science in Accra Girls. I was a pure science student.
Okay.
My physics, chemistry, and biology are on point, so I love those subjects.
So that's your original...
Yeah, I love those subjects.
Before you moved into the sort of auditing, accounting, finance side.
Yes, I did science, went to business, and went to energy economics. Yeah.
And for those listening who feel like science may not necessarily be useful, how has your knowledge of science helped in this? Because by the way, in the work I do, we notice that the energy conversation is becoming increasingly a finance conversation. So quite interesting. So even though energy basically is science, now if your energy policymakers don't understand the finance of it, they cannot succeed. So it's interesting that you started from science, went into finance, and now you're back into energy in a very weird way.
I would say science was the basis of it all. Let's get this right. Once you're doing science and you're doing it well, it opens up the world to you in a very interesting way. See, I did elective math, core math, biology, chemistry, physics, and all of these things. But I could easily get into the business school because I did elective maths. I did physics. I did a maths. So, and here I was the first time learning debits and credits in a room full of people who have been doing debits and credit their whole life. But I still could graduate with the first class because the science background made you able to open up more to the world, to be able to divert. So every time I go for STEM activities, which I do more often with the young ladies in secondary schools, I always say that don't let science feel like it's limiting you. Let it open the world to you. Don't feel that you should be on a certain path, but science should make you be open to learning new things. That's what it does for you. After you are done with science, nothing feels difficult. How do I explain it?
Let's use that to enter this discussion. So in my work, we are told to follow the money. So in journalism, when you are following a story, follow the money. All of things we've been talking about in the first part of the show, at the end of the day, it's about money, isn't it? Because somebody has to pay for the electronic vehicles. It has to make economic sense for somebody to produce it, for somebody to decide to supply power or charging stations. Do you think we've understood the money dimension of this e-mobility conversation well enough?
I would say we are learning to understand the dimensions. I'll pick it up on a business case of one of the charging stations in Ghana, right? I don't think I'm permitted to mention any names. I'll just say a charging station that is built around the model of circularity, such that they use vehicles. They sell vehicles, they rent vehicles, they lease vehicles, and those particular vehicles that they lease have to use their charging stations to charge. So then they're getting more business as a result of the vehicles that they sell, and then those people can come and charge. So here you are as a private person, you want to come and install a DC charger, let's say a 60 kilowatt charger. It's quite expensive, you put a lot of money in it, and as you said, it's the money that we want to follow. As a business person, when is your payback period? Meaning, when are you getting your money back? When are you breaking even to say that, okay, your profit, your expenses and what you're getting out have actually become friends to the extent that they are at a meeting point? When do you break even, right? All of these things can take years, but the more vehicles you have, the more you get to charge, and they pay you money. So this person has taken it out of the context of just installing a charging station and looking at the fact that I can increase the number of electric vehicles I have around me charging by also going into the business of electric vehicles and the business of leasing those vehicles for people. So I also get money through my charging station. So I think it's day by day people are seeing the innovation around financing when it even comes to how they want to approach their businesses. It's not going to be the usual business. And then this is the thing I've actually even said to the banks. It's not going to be your usual loans you are giving to people. The green financing conversation has to be treated a bit more differently, because all of the people, we have a study we just did, a market study that was funded by the UNDP. It will soon be available on the website, and you would see that most of these green tech people who are coming in are all saying the banks need to bring their loans down, because without financing, they can't get these businesses off the ground. And most of these businesses are quite technical, but they are new. And anything that is innovative, you know that it's like you treading on waters that are unknown to you, right? But they need financing to support it. And that's why we have to come up with either innovative ways of doing this financing. Yes, it may be lower interest rate, but it may be a longer term of actually monitoring these companies or something of that sort that makes it possible for us to be able to finance them.
You said a lot of Western and some, in fact, more advanced countries, the movement away from fossil fuel powered vehicles to electronic vehicles is really on.
Yep.
Do you have a prediction as to when the majority of vehicles being produced by OEMs, official or original equipment manufacturers, will be electronic? So whether it's China or US or Europe, do you have a prediction where you can say by 20x more EVs will be produced than more regular fossil fuel? Are you able to say that?
I'm able to say that, and I'm able to say that based on what I'm seeing as the numbers that are growing. You have about 14 million electric vehicles now, even more. I mean, and here I'm quoting the World EV Outlook. somewhere along the line, it's almost like doubled in just 1 or 2 years. Now, at this rate, China being the leader in producing the vehicles, China is producing it with a lot of rigorous subsidies, both to the purchaser and the seller. So you don't see these subsidies on a day-to-day. You are seeing suppliers being given subsidies to produce the vehicles. Then you are seeing the buyers also being given subsidies. So this is generating a very interesting market. No wonder China is leading the EV market now. They are the highest producers and obviously the highest people that are actually purchasing it. You're seeing Europe set timelines. You hear 2025, you hear 2030, you hear 2035 for some of them. Norway, for instance, is on course to really do 2025 because if you have 90% of your car concentration, then they are on course to do the 2025 conversation. But by 2030, you should have a lot of the European vehicles all going electric. Now, that same conversation can be true for China, that you're going to have a very significant number of vehicles in China going electric, again, because of the background I just gave you. Then you're going to have the North American side, being the Canada, the US, and the rest, all also going the same direction.
So in less than 10 years?
So in less than 10 years, I can categorically say that you're going to have a lot of vehicles moving towards EV. But by 2040, we may have 2040 now being an extra 10 years to make room for the very tortoise pace.
Actually, that's
for
16
some people.
years from today.
Yes, we are looking at the fact that we could have most of the global north, if not all of them, being electric. I can't speak the same for the global south. When I say the global south here, sorry to use that word, I don't really like it, but just to show context, it's Africa, Asia, right, and then South America.
Latin America. So by 2040, the majority of vehicles in the global north will be electronic vehicles.
Yes, 2040. Right.
And your point is that if we don't get ready, they will dump all the non-electronic vehicles here.
Yes.
And we will be more susceptible to fossil fuel. By the way, does having an electronic vehicle make your transportation cheaper? So in terms of comparing the vehicle and then how to fuel it, have you run any numbers on that? So if I had a Toyota Camry, which was an EV version versus a fossil fuel powered version, is there any numbers to convince us that the EV version in the long term will be cheaper for me?
Yeah, in the long term it will be cheaper for you. And then we did quite an interesting analysis on this in the baseline report. So you can, if you grab the baseline report, that you can be able to see the analysis on quite a number of vehicles. And then somebody will say that is more of a technical analysis, right? So let's bring it home. Since 2022, I've used an electric vehicle in this country, and I did it because I had to be able to get my own perspectives, right? And luckily enough, I had sponsors, people who had to bring vehicles for me to use. The Kona EV, for instance, the same Kona is an ICE, so that will do your conversation. So you have the same Kona. If you go online and you Google the Kona,
spell Kona.
Kona. It's a Hyundai Kona, all right? Mm-hmm. The Hyundai Kona, the same one is an ICE, the same features, everything, and the same build of the car. They have an electric vehicle version. So sometimes when you see it, you can't even tell until you get close and you see the EV written somewhere close in terms of that. So that really, in terms of the aesthetics and how the vehicle looks on the outside, it can be the same. But the Kona, the electric vehicle, can have a range of up to about 490, 500 kilometers, right? And then the normal one, I haven't used the normal Kona, but I would just say, assuming I use that, I just oppose that to a CRV Honda that I use, right? So for that one, the charging components and the fact that the initial price is, yes, undoubtedly is more expensive when it comes to the Kona EV than it is with the average Kona, like this ICE, right? Because the cost when it comes to electric vehicles, the majority of the cost, about 60%, is embedded in the battery. And once lithium-ion batteries, the conversations around this is still going the way. I mean, there are better batteries coming up and everything, but once the conversations keep being this way, the cost of those vehicles are going to be quite high.
So once we figure out making batteries cheaper, the overall cost of the vehicle will be lower.
Yes, and that makes me very excited because the EV market is beginning to mirror the solar market. When solar started, you see how quite expensive panels was, right? Now, when something happens and you have the economics of it at play, demand and supply at play, and the market components come into play, you see the prices come to take a very significant dive, or having to look how the equilibrium price should look. So that's what makes the EV quite expensive, right? But the use is a conversation. So I used an electric vehicle for 1 year, and neither did I do any maintenance, nothing, no maintenance.
No servicing.
No
where
servicing.
Every month and a half you go
Exactly.
and change oil.
No, there's no oil you're changing. This is a full electric vehicle. There's no oil you're changing because you don't have an engine. Your engine doesn't have.
So it's just the battery.
The battery you're looking at.
So
right?
for a year, you didn't pay maintenance costs.
No, and you don't even want to hear about the fuel costs. When I say fuel here, electricity, because if I say maybe I was charging mostly at home, and the home charger, again, let me mention there are 3 levels of charging. Let's talk about the first 3 levels. There is a level 1 that you can do at home, which most people in Ghana now do, but that takes a longer time to charge, right? But it's cheaper because you're going to be charging at a residential rate, and it's even going to be charging very
So your normal ECG?
Yes, your normal ECG.
You just charge it for a long time for the battery to get to full capacity?
Yes. I used the Aura Good Card, for instance. It was also 500 kilometer range vehicle.
So when you charge the battery fully, it takes you 500 kilometers?
Yes.
Which is essentially like Accra to Kumasi and back?
Yes. And, wow. I used to use it for averagely 2 weeks and I'll charge again. So in a month, I charge twice. That was when I was using it. In a month, I would charge. There are days that I'll go to Cape Coast and travel around the country.
So you're basically doing 1,000 kilometers every 2 weeks?
Yes, I would say that.
Wow.
Yeah, averagely. Every.
And when you look at the cost you were paying on the charging, it was not that significant?
No.
Compared to if you were buying diesel or petrol for that 1,000 kilometers?
So my normal car we use in a month, in a week averagely, let's say 600 cedi fuel. So in a month, I'm looking about 2,000 to 2,400 cedi fuel for me in a month. When it came to the EV, I was looking at around 100 to 200 cedi when it came to charging.
Wow.
You
so
see?
Over a 10-year period, no servicing charge, battery charge lower, as in charging. So in the long run, it's cheaper to have your car, although initially maybe more expensive than my car.
Yes, so that's why I like when you said that, what is the long run benefits of it? In the long run, it's cheaper because your savings is quite significant. Where you are saving, I think what we don't talk about is like everybody wants to have a mobile phone, but we don't talk about, okay, now you need a SIM card in them. You need to buy credits every month. So that becomes a cost component of the phone. And that's why when you go to Europe, you see them do it so that you are paying monthly for your...
You described the first level charging. So what's the second level charging of the vehicle?
Okay, so let's say 2 to 5 kilowatts hour for the first level. Then you are having up to about 11 kilowatts, right? Then you have 22 kilowatt above that actually goes into, and that's where the third level we call a DC charging, a direct current charging, right? And that's where some levels, that's what they call the fast charger, right? But what you have, the level 2, you could also buy it and fix it in your house. It would just mean that you need to do a whole wiring thing that actually, so you don't want to use your normal 1.5 cables or things, right? You have to get the wiring right. And that's when you buy, most of them are between $1,000 to $1,500 to get that installed in your house, right? That's a level 2 charger. And once that is installed in your house, you're able to charge a bit more faster than your average 2 to 5 kilowatt that you have that has been charging, right? But the level 3 is where you're doing a fast charger, and that is where you have you most likely will have in a public place because it will be faster.
So the key to making this work is if we had more, of course, electricity available, but also had more charging stations in public places. So using Accra Kumasi example, I leave Accra, I get in Sam or Lindado, there's a charging station there. Probably one at Nkoko. If I'm going to Tamale, one at Kintampo, so that even if my 500 kilometers gets exhausted, there will be a fast charging station where I'll spend how many minutes on average?
It depends on the battery capacity, but you can do about 80% charge in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yes.
So, and you're saying that the key is get private sector. So if some companies can bring in the car, some companies can focus on supplying the batteries if they have to be changed. Some companies can focus on the charging stations, which is what you mean by the secularity.
Yes, that's well. So one company can decide to do it all, but it could be nice if you have a whole. It's an EV sector that we are creating here. The sector, as you said, in terms of the battery, because after 10 years or 12, most of these batteries will need to be changed, right? And then that also becomes a conversation. Then you have the charging infrastructure people and the business around it. You have those that will want to use it for ride hailing and be able to, and as you're seeing most ride hailing happen, around the world. When you go to Dubai, you go to London, you're having most EVs, so when you're even calling a ride, you're calling a green ride, right? So either you're calling one of those, right? So there's a secular model that is running around this, such that the private sector, when they go into this, can create that conversation for us mainly. I would say so.
We're talking to Doris Edemabevivi, who's the coordinator of Ghana's Drive Electric Initiative. She works with the Energy Commission, which is the agency that sort of is the policy wing of the ministry, and they have been pushing this seriously since 2019. We're talking about her enthusiasm about the energy transition. Let me end on two notes. What's the most important thing that needs to happen in Ghana today for the vision you and your colleagues at the ministry and then at the commission have for our EV to happen? What's the most important thing that needs to happen?
One, I would say we need the vehicles, we need charging, right? These are the two, right? And the vehicles, we may need to get a deeper penetration of the vehicles. Now that will have to be through incentives, and then the charging infrastructure through maybe an incentivized market to be able to go. But I would say that the Ministry of Transport have been taking up their helm, gone ahead to do the EV policy document, has shown us phases to which they want to be able to take this conversation, right? Now to 2026, we have the first phase, which is deepening the conversations. Then up to 2035, you want to have 35% penetration of electric vehicles. To get there is two things. We are either incentivizing a market that brings EVs, or we are incentivizing a market, incentivizing a market that can produce within. Because here we are talking about localization of these resources, localization of technology. We are talking about producing in-house. We are talking about industry and a whole industry that needs to boom around it. So the incentives that we have currently goes to speak to that, because incentives is the one we have is encouraging manufacturing and assembling of EVs. So the 2 and 3 wheelers that you hear about Ghana assembling, right? It's now getting to the point where when you bring in parts into the country, you get an exemption at the port. It's the incentive that you are getting, because most of them, when they have to now come and pay the port duties, next side customs duty becomes. So that is being waived. That has been waived by policy, right? And then you also have the next waiver being for public transportation. Chunk of our transportation here is the public side. If you get, we are the Urban Mobility Forum, it was clear that chunk of our transportation is in. So these two have been targeted. Now with these two, I'm hoping that in the next 3 to 5 years, we are going to have a significant rise in the 2-3-wheeler market that is manufactured in the country. But we're also going to see a lot of electric buses, right, that are going to be transporting in terms of that and be taking a lot more electricity and reducing the emissions per person, which is also a conversation you want to talk about in that context. So that is for the vehicle. Then the charging infrastructure framework, I think, is going to happen that we are going to have a lot more private sector. As I say, it's a public-private partnership, but it's purely going to be led by the private sector. They are the ones that are getting into it now because they are seeing the business of it. Now, to do that, government needs to be able to put its leg down, and that's why at the Energy Commission, I have led the conversations on standards. So now we have standards for electric vehicle charging. And so that you don't just bring anything around. You have to make sure you meet the Ghanaian standards for it. Then you have the regulations for charging, which we just finished, the draft regulations. So that regulation is sort of catering for the safety right? So we are making sure that the people that are coming to install chargers in the country, okay, this is a public charger, this is not a public charger, this is what you need to meet to do, your wiring needs to be done right. We don't want to hear of a charging station burning and then the next thing is that all the conversation goes to burn because people start getting scared, like how we have the LPG conversations. People are scared of burns and they will never use LPG. So that is the conversation. So these two happening, it's all about the vehicle and the charging.
Wonderful.
So the framework around the two is going to be quite what would deepen it, and that those have started already. So I'm hoping that in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be quite an interesting market to see, even if we're not in it.
Thank you very much. We've been speaking to, I guess it's fair to call her the face of the EV drive in Ghana, the coordinator of Ghana's Drive Electric Initiative, Doris Edengmabevivi. Quite passionate about that sector and really, really insightful thoughts around how the energy transition must happen and the secularity of the e-mobility space. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
That's all we have time for this edition of the City Business Edition. Thanks for listening. We'll be with you next time. Bye-bye.
Sweet girl, my girl.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Anymore, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent,
Omniwana.
omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi. You mean Omnibisic. Omnibsic. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
At your service.
Light off. No problem. Experience 2 days battery power with the Samsung Galaxy A06. Switch to Awesome.
This is Senna from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we are right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We are the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
It's Friday morning. Welcome aboard to kick off on 97.3 CTFM. I am Bernard Abekoch. We are proudly powered by Shell, Shell, Zonda GH, and Polytank Ghana. Papa Nuni. Let's get into the details now. And Ghana's Black Satellites are set to face Cote d'Ivoire in the semi-finals of the Wafu B Under 20 Championship on Saturday, following the end of the group stage. As the winners of Group A, the Black Satellites will take on Cote d'Ivoire, who finished second in Group B in an eagerly anticipated Youth Championship semi-final in Togo. The Wafu Zone B Under 20 Championship doubles as the qualifier for the 2025 Africa Under 20 Cup of Nations, with only the 2 finalists securing spot in the tournament. The 2025 Under 20 AFCON will then serve as Africa's pathway to the 2025 FIFA Under 20 World Cup in Chile, where the 4 semi-finalists will and automatic qualification. Away from that, ex-Dreams FC player Aziz Abdul Issa and John Entry have been shortlisted for the Men's Inter-Club Player of the Year category at the 2024 CAF Awards. This remarkable contributions during there are remarkable contributions during the club's CAF Confederation Cup campaign last season have secured them recognition among Africa's top football talent. Also, Abdul Aziz Issa has been shortlisted for the Young Player of the Year at the 2024 CAF Awards. The attacking midfielder is among 10 players nominated for the prestigious award, which is scheduled for December in Morocco. Issa was instrumental for Dreams FC last season as he guided the club to a semi-final finish in the CAF Confederations Cup. He netted 4 goals and provided 2 assists in 10 games. Let's move to Europe now. And Jose Mourinho was sent off as his Fenerbahce side came from behind to condemn his old club, Manchester United, to a third successive Europa League draw in Istanbul. United had led at the break through Christian Eriksen's 4th goal of the season, but the host leveled 4 minutes after the restart when Youssef Enazri got between Manchester United's defenders to head home Alan St. Maximin's cross from close range. Here is Jose Mourinho.
I don't want to speak about it. You've just been in, I think, to see the referees. What did they say? He told me something incredible. He told that at the same time he could see the action in the box and my behavior on the touchline. I congratulate him because he's absolutely incredible. His peripheral vision during the game, 100 miles per hour, he had one eye on the penalty situation and he had one eye on the bench and on my behavior. So that's the explanation he gave me. That's why he's one of the best referees in the world.
Forgive me on that. That's Jose Mourinho on the red card incident. Wow, interesting, isn't it? In the Confederations, in the Conference League, John Felix scored twice as Chelsea won at Panathinaikos 4-1 on an emotional night as tributes were paid to the Greek side's former defender, George Baldock. Here's Chelsea's boss, Enzo Maresca.
Enzo, job well done tonight in Greece. What do you make of the performance?
A good performance. We struggled a little bit first half, especially at the beginning. Then we made some adjustment. It was much better. And overall, I think we deserve to win the game.
You changed your team, as you have done in previous games, and you must be pleased with the competition for places and how everyone's taking a claim when they come into the side.
Very, very happy, especially because no matter how many players we change, the important thing is that the style of the team, the identity on the ball and off the ball is clear. And tonight, I think, once again, was there.
Let's now talk about the greatest league on earth, the English Premier League. Well, in the Premier League, match week 9 is underway. The action kicks off at the King Power Stadium later tonight, where Leicester City take on Nottingham Forest at 7 p.m. On Saturday, Aston Villa, fresh off their Champions League journey, will host Bournemouth at the Villa Park, with that match starting the 2 p.m. round of fixtures. At the GT Community Stadium, Brentford will face Ipswich, while Brighton meets Wolves at the Amex. Manchester City would go head-to-head with Southampton, and Everton will play Fulham to close out Saturday's matches. Sunday features a roadshow at East Legon Starbites as Chelsea take on Newcastle United at the Bridge. Crystal Palace will host Tottenham Hotspur, while West Ham United welcomes Manchester United to the London Stadium. The weekend wraps up with a blockbuster clash between Arsenal and Liverpool at the Emirates, kicking off at 4:30 p.m. That'll be all for your sport this morning. For more sports stories, log on to citysportsonline.com. We are back at 5 p.m. with the very latest from the world of sport. Thanks to Shell, Lesheho, Zonda GH, and Polytank Ghana, Papa Nuni. I am Bernard Bakery. Sport is life. Get involved.
Hey, well, yo, I did tire for Abu Chef. See, everything I do, Abu won't do some. Last year, I bought a cattle farm in Yanton. I see he go buy a farm next to mine. I marry Fauzia. No, he marries Fauzia's sister. I buy my motorbike. I see, no, he go buy motorbike too.
Hey, but you don't see, since you buy your bike, he has bought 4 motorbikes, which have all broken down. You know they maintain bikes at all.
His problem be say he dey put wrong lubricant for his bike inside. The correct motorbike oil where if you put inside be Shell Advanced Lubricant. Shell Advanced Lubricant be the only motorbike oil where they make them for motorbike to protect engine, clutch and brake. Wait, no. Wait me, wallahi, I no go tell him. Shell. Hey, well, wait, where you go?
If you don't go tell Abu, me I dey go tell him say make you use Shell Advanced Lubricant for him bike.
Hey.
Visit any Shell station or distributor today to get your Shell Advanced Lubricant for your motorbike. Shell Advance, complete protection for your bike.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years now? I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy-duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light-duty trucks, and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, Fua pickups, 4-land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks. Made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sales service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Poa pickup, which I take to the office? Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off the Flower Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell, go well.
From the classroom to the lab, from the village to the city, the NPP's commitment to education is building a brighter Ghana. Free SHS isn't just about free tuition, it's an investment in Ghana's future. We have topped it up with free TVET and STEM education, skilled graduates, innovative thinkers, and a thriving economy. That's the promise of free SHS.
3 of my cousins have benefited from free SHS since 2017. One has graduated and is in nursing training. The other 2 are also in the university. I'll vote number 1. I'll vote for Baumia on December 7th.
We are building a better tomorrow through education. Vote NPP. Vote number 1. Vote Baumia. Baumia means business. Estro.
Christmas is in the air and it all starts at Electrum. Get amazing gift vouchers with 5,000 Ghana cedis plus incredible discount of up to 60% on all your favorite electronics from smart TVs to washing machines, refrigerators, mobiles, laptops and more. Get the best deals on all big brands like LG, Brew, Samsung, Panasonic, Sony, Philips, Orient, Infinix, Tecno, Xiaomi and many more. Call or WhatsApp us on 0552 777 905. Celebrate Christmas full with goodies only at Electromat, your world of electronics.
This is a special security announcement. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing, announces big discounts on all sliding security barriers, roller shutters, and clear guards to protect homes and offices from criminals. Trelidor is fighting rising prices by offering big savings and lower prices. Be safe, secure your premises. Google Trelidor or call 0561 24 24 24. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
You
for a bank to rely on. Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we sick to banky be no lie. Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
There's a business in every woman, from the young lady brimming with exciting and novel business ideas to the market queen managing her empire. There's the she architect, quantity surveyor, realtor, business consultant, crafting dreams into reality, and the multitasking mom seamlessly blending work at home. The entrepreneur, meticulously checking stock, to the corporate woman, sealing deals on the move. Indeed, there's a business in every woman. Introducing Telecel Women in Business, our initiative to empower women-led and women-owned enterprises. Benefit from tailored activities, networking, business and technical support, free webinars, trainings, and more. To join this initiative, be a female-led business and a Telecel business customer. Visit telecel.com.gh/business to register now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Beyond every boardroom is a story waiting to be written. A story of a business and its potential, of a community that thrives, a hospital that serves, and energy that powers millions of dreams. It's a story that only gets better with a partner that has the expertise and solutions to make it a reality. At Absa Corporate and Investment Banking, we are invested in your story, and we invite you to write it with us because your story matters. Absa. Authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Efia, I've been thinking, have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS. And now, she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Efia, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The MPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
Wow, I just love jet fighters. Sis, I think you should join the combat unit of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Me? I don't know how to do busha busha.
There's so much more to it than that.
But seriously, what will I be doing in the combat unit?
You can be a rescue helicopter pilot, captain warships, be a sniper, lead troops during peacekeeping, so much more.
Do you think I have what it takes?
Yes, girl. I know you have what it takes.
Ladies, consider a career in the combat unit of the Ghana Armed Forces and help keep the world in order. Visit govonline.mil.gh today for details. This is a Ghana Armed Forces initiative supported by the Women, Youth, Peace and Security Institute of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center and sponsored by the ELSI Initiative Fund.
This is Senna from the Boat Safety Team. You can't see us, but we are right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We are the Boat Safety Team, by your side on every ride.
Put your phones in the air. Wave your awesome cameras. Why the party, babe? You awesome like Samsung Galaxy. Get out the
way, make way for the boss. Get out the way, You need long-lasting battery life for this party. Take a picture of my sister, boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy A. Wait till this morning, boss. Take a picture of my sister, boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy A. Then a baby mommy, boss. Get out the way, make way for the boss.
Ifya, I've been thinking. Have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS, and now she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Ifya, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The NPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Nana Ekwa Asabe.
Yes, darling, thank you.
Oh, Daddy to me friend near my I was simple to when you eat the children. Ain't no waffle on your pa. You know, smoke when you come over the ticket to high life travel, not only honeymoon. A preacher. Ain't no waffle no door. And yet, the same queer, you got that down. That down no down. That's it. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, me love way. Yeah, so
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.1.
Also, what is it?
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Now that's the sound of Joel Aka. My goodness. And he calls this one mid-year. Nathan Kwa.
Yes, sir.
No, you are the music connoisseur.
Yes.
This one, so is Boga High Life or which of the High Lives?
No, this is Boga High Life. I don't know. It depends. It depends on when this came out.
Okay.
Because Boga High Life has a very distinct start. This is like Boga High Life, like mid 80s.
Okay.
So the people who were in Germany and co.
Yeah.
That's why they were called. That's why it was Boga High, because they were based outside.
Right.
And then they did music very good. They did music.
So Boga High Life.
But I mean, this is good High Life. This is like basic High Life.
No, but Charlie Joelaka's voice is something else. And this particular song, mid-year, oh, bruh, I love it. No, so if you want to use this song to say hello to your mid-dear, mid-dear is so what is saying, my dear or something? So my dear in fancy.
My hair.
Oh, so
mid-dear.
I see that. No, I'll use this song to do your dedications for you. In the meantime, Kickoff was brought to you by Polytank and Zonda. Today, money is difficult to come by, and that's why it's even more important that you buy trusted and time-tested brands that majority endorse when making a purchase. When it comes to water storage tanks in Ghana, the name is Polytank. It's been around for more than 30 years. Is the water storage tank that the generations trust. Is the first, the best, and certainly original. Go for guaranteed quality. Choose Polytank. Polytank near Papa Nunier. But Polytank does not request for Momo payments online. Just know that. And Zonda Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for quality trucks like Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, TX trucks, and oil tanks, all made and assembled right here in Ghana. At Zonda Ghana Limited, we don't only create opportunities, but we also provide top-notch after-sales service for all your heavy and light-duty trucks and machinery needs as well. So visit us today at any of our 7 branches around the country. Our head office is off the Tema Flower Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave in Tema. Call us 050-177-2222, 050-177-3333. Zonda is built in Ghana, building Ghana. Now, happy birthday from Yao Lawson to Michael Mensa Ashley, aka DJ Ashman. Just as fine wine, you only get better with time. Cheers to a birthday that is as exquisite as your friendship. Wishing you the best of health and abundance of blessings. This one says happy birthday to the indefatigable, incredible Mr. T. Tahama Musli Alidu Napari of Ecole Ronsard. You are 11 years old today. This is coming from your father, your mom, Baba, and Katali. Happy belated birthday to a dear friend and brother, Timothy Arthur Nunu of Deloitte, Ghana. You are such an amazing person. May God continue to bless you and elevate you in all your endeavors. All your sacrifices in God's house will never be in vain. Enjoy the rest of the year in grace. This is from your girl D. We have some more dedications. Okay, I think this one has just been done, Nathan.
All right, this one says, happy birthday in advance to our son, Ayan, who turns 3 tomorrow. We love you from Dr. Aisha and Dr. Ahmed of Zongo Care Initiative. Zongo Care Initiative. There's one here.
Okay.
I'm sure you have a few. You can do that then quickly.
And happy birthday to Abigail Achu. God bless you. This is coming from your family and friends. You know, this one, if you get Richard Sky's Coolie High, you enter the village side of things, the countryside with some palm wine, boko, then that's oh my God.
All right, a few more coming in. This one says, happy birthday to Nana Tuhufu Quegrin of Parliament House Library. May God exalt your horn like a unicorn. With love from your beautiful wife, Abina Quegrin, and your lovely boys. All right, a few announcements, and Zenith Bank is saying they have you covered with a loan of up to 250,000 cedis. You know, I'm sure you need that money to sort out that major project you've been planning. At Zenith Bank, we always look out for your financial well-being. Open a Zenith salary account and have access to a loan of up to 250,000 cedis. T's and C's apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Old Mutual is here. They want to ensure that your retirement age is great. You get monthly income. There's no issue. Call them on 050-453-4333 and simply invest into the Old Mutual retirement salary plan today. Old Mutual do great things every day. SNIT is also here, and they're saying that if you're a contributor to the scheme, they will ensure that your loved ones get a lump sum when you are no more, because the unexpected can happen. You don't want to leave your loved ones in a complex state or in a fix where they wouldn't know what to do. With SNIT, members are rest assured that in the unfortunate event that they pass on, their nominated dependents would be paid a lump sum by the scheme. Get in touch with SNIT on 0302-611-622. SNIT, we deliver on our promise. Now, to all the female entrepreneurs out there, agribusiness owners and young entrepreneurs, if you are thinking of how to get some money to get your business off the ground, ABSA is partnering with the MasterCard Foundation, and they are offering SME loans at an unbelievable 10% interest rate per annum. It's not just talk. We've already done that. We have given 600 million cedis to over 1,600 businesses in the last year. Your success is our success. Visit any ABSA branch or their SME project office, or visit absa.com.gh to find out more. Your story matters. ABSA.
Now, for all the soccer fans, soccer lovers, this weekend is going to be a big one. And the man Benjamin Nketiah is in the studio. We'll be talking about all the big games. There's a massive road show that's happening this weekend, so just wait for it. Come on. Now, you know that your energy giving great taste in Lucozade has a new look. You know that, right? So whether you're out and about in the office, in school, or even in a trotro, you need to restore your energy. Look out for the now sleeker, slimmer Lucozade original 330 ml can for the same energy. Grab your Lucozade and discover the same unbeatable energy with every sip. Lucozade, restore your energy. Big games this weekend. Let me welcome Benjamin Nketiah. Abontin, brother.
Oh, my brother.
Abontin, brother.
You have taken the lead.
Abontin, brother.
You have taken the lead officially.
Abontin, brother.
No, it's good to see you.
Oh, you're the man.
These days you're looking like a politician. I don't know what's going on with this.
How?
Yeah.
This is a normal.
And then you have added some lens. You have added some lens to it. You know, I see the way. You see the demeanor has changed.
Nothing has changed.
The rebrand is 60% complete.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
No, it's good.
You know, there's a lot of heat in the system, so you have to see where, and you have to be comfortable. You know, you don't have to wear things that will make you sweat plenty. The heat for the Ghana plenty. You understand? You should ask Kai these days. You know, he doesn't wear his gown and suit and things.
Physical and hypothetical heat. Anyway,
I'm telling you.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Yeah,
I haven't been here in a minute.
Where have you been?
Oh, I've been around, doing the Lord's work.
This guy just vanished before you know he's in again.
Doing the Lord's work,
Yeah,
aka part-time Premier League work, and today that's why I'm here. So,
there's Premier League this weekend.
Yeah, big games, big games this weekend. I call it Super Sunday.
Allah.
We have the Sunday starts off with the Chelsea and Newcastle game, which is a very good one. We have a West Ham Man United game as well. And then there's the big one. 4:30, it's Arsenal
and Liverpool
at the Emirates against Liverpool. So that's basically why I'm here. It's the road show at Star Bites at East Legon. So this is our second road show for the season. So yeah, we make work.
Star Bites.
Yeah,
inside the Star Bites.
Yeah, you should pass by.
Oh no, I was telling you that.
Come and look at your team.
Yeah,
they are promising you something.
No, but
No, you see, I don't like the hesitation. It's like,
no confidence
your team is doing good things this season.
Please.
The way Sky is
Sky,
does he support Chelsea?
I'm surprised at Sky because he's always been the optimist. You know, he's always been the guy who's like seen like light at the end of the tunnel when others didn't.
I've had very difficult heartbreaks.
Why are you a Chelsea supporter?
My Chelsea, you know, then challenge your people from America took over. They just yesterday they go score plenty. You know, some vim that Panathinaikos be proper.
No, you see, it's a good time for Chelsea to play Newcastle. Newcastle started the season really well, but they've slowed down considerably. I think they haven't scored in their last 2 matches. They are dealing with some injuries here and there. Their top striker is not scoring. So if there's a time for Chelsea to play them, this is the best time. But the other side to it is that Newcastle play the exact type of football that Chelsea don't like. You know, Chelsea's new manager Enzo Maresca is like a hard pressing, aggressive style. It's led to, I think, a 4-1 or 4-2 win. They've had a 6 something. You know, like you score a lot of like high risk, high reward. So Chelsea need to be careful. It's that kind of game where Newcastle specialize at breaking off your mistake and then heading in the opposite direction quickly. So I think that would be a good game. Like I always say, Chelsea fans are very vibrant down here. Like, you know, it's like Sky is saying, they're not used to losing. Like they've not really, like in the last 2 decades, they are one of the teams that have really enjoyed life as far as the football landscape is concerned. So it's always great having Chelsea fans at road shows because Charlie, you know, like,
they come with excitement,
like swagger. It's this day that like the light is dimming small, but this season they're on the upsurge. I don't want to jinx it for them by saying that they'll do this or that.
But you finish as last.
No, it's exactly my point. I don't want to jinx it for them. I think they have good signs.
Okay.
They have good signs. Like for instance, Michael Jackson is scoring goals. Sorry,
Nicholas Jackson.
Sorry.
From Nigeria, this software when we bought it, we didn't install
those inside. You only bought the software. It looks like they finally installed the software, and so he's up and running this season. He can say that he's among the top 5 strikers in the league this season. At least if it's even for now.
Okay.
So. Good game, good game to look forward to. I like the Chelsea game. There's a United game as well, Nathan.
Okay.
Hi, United played yesterday. United played yesterday against Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce. Very interesting match. Very interesting pre and post game comments from Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho is a character, man.
Oh, but that referee didn't try at all. I really do. I did like. What was the point sending them? I mean, what did he do?
I'm even surprised.
I mean, just
Jose Mourinho is something else, but United will be up against West Ham. Unfortunately, we don't get to see Kudus because he's serving his suspension.
True.
But the good news
which could be extended.
Yep. He's been how do you call it? He's been charged for violent conduct.
Has he really explained what exactly happened? What did the guy tell him?
So we are not privy to those things yet, but we know that he was supposed to respond to the charge by Thursday close of day. So I'm very sure his team would have responded. If they don't, there's a very likely chance that ban will be extended.
So West Ham got charged, Tottenham got charged, Kudus got charged for violence. So all three, so West Ham, Spurs and Kudus. So the 2 teams were charged with failure to control their players.
Okay.
And then Kudus was charged with violent conduct.
Yeah, the guy pointed to his head.
Something
must have been
yes,
said.
I'm sure something must have happened for Kudus to have lost his head like that.
Yeah.
He cleaned out 2 players, Richarlison and Van
He was dropping bodies.
That was.
So he had, like Ben is saying, he had until yesterday to respond. So all the guilty parties had until yesterday to respond to the charges.
Yeah.
Based on that response, we'll know whether Kudus gets banned for 3 games. Because straight red is 3 games. If the explanation is unsatisfactory, then he'll get an extended ban. So maybe another 3. So potentially he could be looking at a 6-game ban. So we'll hear, I'm sure by this weekend or maybe early next week, we'll get clarity on the severity.
They don't waste
of the
time with these things. They'll bring you a ruling really quickly. That's a lot of football to be missing. So we'll still watch
3 games.
Yeah,
and then your team will also find you or something.
So
it may be internal.
So what happens internally is that I think what most teams do is that for a first red card you get a caution, and then if you are a repeat offender, you probably get fined like a week's wages. Wow. So yeah, that's how it happens. Because for every yellow card you pick up, most people don't know your team has to pay a fine to the league. So every time your team picks up a yellow card, you pay a fine for the yellow card. If you pick up a red card, you pay even more. So if they're having to pay fines for you alone, Sky, taking 10 yellow cards in the season, that's problematic. So United West Ham will be good. United have won, or West Ham have won their last 2 home games against United. So this is a game that they should be looking at. And
so this will be happening at the London Stadium.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and those were David Moyes wins, you know. Yes. David Moyes, they say he was playing boring football, but I'm a fan of David Moyes. I like the boring football. It brings results. Now they are playing fanciful football and the results are not coming. I think if they need to win that game against United, they just need to go and take a page from David Moyes' book. So yeah, that game too, we'll keep an eye on that game. But I think the Chelsea Newcastle is a bigger game. So live radio commentary, clear quality sound. You get a good ambience at Starbites East Legon. Good company, good food, good things. You know, I won't explain that. Good things. Anyway, let's talk about the big game itself.
Yes.
That is a big one.
Yes.
Arsenal Liverpool. It doesn't get any bigger than this. So it's a title matchup between two of the teams that will be up there. But Arsenal, it's a more important game for them because they have a mini crisis on their hands. Really. Yeah. They have Odegaard is injured, Saliba is suspended, Calafiori is injured, Jurriën Timber likely to miss time, Bukayo Saka is injured. So they have quite a crisis on. And if you look at Partey is playing. He played really well in their last game, I believe. But the problem again is that what happens here is that they haven't scored. They haven't been scoring. The last time they scored an outfield goal proper was when Saka was in the team. And that's quite some time ago. The Europa League, the Champions League goal was an own goal. And so they haven't scored in quite a while. And they
put 4 past Leicester, right?
Yeah.
3 past Southampton, 4 past Leicester.
Yep.
And then they lost, I think, at Bournemouth.
Yep. So it's dried up for them, really. And it's the worst possible time because you are coming up against the team, I think, with the second highest goal XG in Liverpool and the best defense in the league as well in Liverpool. So crazy. I just saw a stat that really blew my mind. So since Arsenal purchased Saliba, every time he's in the team, they have a win percentage of 75%. When he's not, it drops to 45%. So that is a very significant absence for them in this game. I want to see how they navigate it. Like somebody was saying, look, Arsenal have been through the valley of the shadow of death since the season started. Like injured players, they have 3 red cards already before match week 10. So it's been a very turbulent season for them. So big game. I don't see the Arsenal fans. There are plenty in Ghana these days. You know, their team is winning. So Octavio, Samens, Bernard, there are quite a number of them. Even in our building, like there are quite a number of Arsenal fans. So Albert, all the guys. So
to win something,
they should come. Oh, they will win something. No way.
God should just give them something.
Oh, Charlie.
But they've won FA Cups and things.
I don't like the way you are using this opportunity to slide tackle Arsenal.
I'm actually. They say that when you
said the league, yes, they haven't
when your
won the
neighbor
league
is crying. That's all I'm
right?
doing. I'm actually sympathizing.
I mean, look, to be honest, as a Chelsea fan, you have the moral right to tell Arsenal to win something because you've been winning stuff. So they can tell Arsenal that you
very much so.
Go out there and win something.
We have the moral right.
So Caleb, I just want to say, Liverpool fans come out there. Arsenal fans, I know you'll be out there. Chelsea fans,
yes.
In fact, if there are Newcastle fans out there, they should surprise me. I want them to text into the show. You never know. They surprise me out there.
Rock your jersey.
Charlie, come out there, rock your jersey.
Your stripes.
Come to the Starbites at East Legon. Like I said, you will feel our presence. If you see how Starbites is positioned at 1 p.m. The first game kicks off at 2 p.m. So you can start coming in from around 12:30, 1 p.m. Right. Settle down.
So this is Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
This
is Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday. The big, it's Super Sunday.
Yes, and it's important to add that the clocks have also changed. So always bear that in mind. As the Premier League is going on, the clocks will change, kickoff times will change.
Actually,
kickoff times have changed.
What happens is, I think the clocks change after at midnight, or if I'm not mistaken.
So they change. I think somewhere midnight 1 a.m.
So for this game, we are still doing
2 p.m. on Sunday
4:30.
and 4:30.
Okay.
2 p.m. and 4:30. So Sunday 2 p.m.
Sunday,
first game,
2 p.m.
First game
for the first game.
Yeah, second game is at 4:30.
4:30,
Start
right.
arriving at 1 p.m.
Right.
Come to when you go and finish
Fill the place.
praising God, and
Yeah.
then you can just finish and
You enter the system.
enter the jersey,
Quick.
enter town, and let's
man.
see one or two things. So, like
It's
I said,
happening.
it's a great place to be. Really, the reception is good. The people at Starbucks provide a great reception. Really,
Excellent.
Great things to drink.
No, good stuff. Everything you want.
Everything someday.
Yeah, they'll pay
And Coach Nimley is around.
Oh yes, and you see that's
We pray before kickoff.
That's if everything you want. That's the beauty of the road show. Like all the time you are hearing nothing but quality radio commentary.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes you want to
You want
to feel the people. You want to interact with the people. Take a picture. Do something like
and score you.
Enjoy the people. Like
And
that's,
then you see the pictures that come out like memes and all of
yeah,
that.
exactly. Like people like to step out to watch their football. Like it's not every day that you can be in your room alone. Sundays, Charlie, for link the boys.
If I come out,
link the girls, bring
burn
everybody
some
around.
calories.
That's how it should be.
Maybe
So
so.
we'll be out there. Join us on Sunday. I think it will be fun. Like I said, this is our second road show of the season already. So we have a lot more coming up. We have about 8 more to go. So,
8 more road shows. My goodness.
So we have quite the journey to go to May, the ending of May next year.
Wow.
So there's a lot of time on our hands.
Wow.
Come, let's enjoy Go Football. The Premier League. This is the home of the Premier League.
This
so
is it.
That's what it
2
is.
down, 8 more to go.
Yep.
It's a Super Sunday. The weekend is loaded and you are sorted. We are bringing you the road show. This is happening at East Legon Star Bites Saturday, Sunday, and it's going to be a very action-packed one for
It's
all
a
you
beautiful
football
place.
lovers. So do want to pass by. Richard Alaska is hoping that his team will bring home some glories.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I mean, we
believe
don't
in
support
Chelsea.
with so much vim these days.
You watch with one
We
eye
do have
closed.
once more.
No, it is well.
Yeah, but the thing is that you don't want to watch, but you will be there.
Before you know,
but
then
listen,
you're checking
you
for
go
updates.
I don't
to
understand why.
football and say, Charlie, let
Ben,
me
I don't understand why people like to almost deceive themselves.
Right.
Watch the game.
Whether you
This
like it or
business
not,
of
you will still
I
watch
watch,
it.
I won't watch,
your
and then you
game.
go and watch. See, look, the journey of being a fan is
Yes.
not all rosy.
Yes.
So you have to experience the bitter
It
time.
can be traumatic.
That's what I'm saying. That Chelsea fans have been
But
spoiled.
growing
Abramovich
up-
has spoiled Chelsea
Growing
fans.
up, there was this movie I watched on TV called Johnny Misto, Boy Wizard, right? And his grandmother told him something. He says, in life, to enjoy the sweet, you have to taste the bitter.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So the football fans who don't want to, when your team loses 1 or 2, no, you are hiding. No, support,
Show up.
criticize, bash, whatever.
Own the losses.
But be happy because the day you get your win, you
Yeah.
will celebrate.
No, but Chelsea, I don't think they will stay like this for a while. Like they don't. It's not in their DNA to go 3-4 seasons like winning nothing. It's not in their DNA.
No, that's
it has a way of affecting how you relate to people close to you. If you're not careful.
Or it can affect your mood then.
Oh, Charlie,
If you have to pay school fees, then they come you find your face. Come on, let's sit down.
No, you see,
I'm not telling when they're laughing at you.
like Nathan likes to say that.
Yes, that team is losing.
No, and your kids will do that to you.
Oh, that's true.
Your kids will do that to you. Say, and they'll come and ask you like, you should
Why?
know. Like, Daddy, why are they scoring your team? How am I supposed to know?
It's like, coach, you're supposed to tell them. It's like, coach,
You know, there's some defeats your team suffers. Like
You are
if it's like
sleeping,
Liverpool, like midnight,
at
then
2
you wake
a.m.,
up.
then you ask yourself,
Hey, they score with 3-0.
are you serious?
No, is it
Are you
the annoying thing
You're
is
happy
after
to.
the defeat and then you watch news.
The highlights will be
They will
replayed.
Yes.
like, it's like they mean you.
the weekend where your team will lose.
Yes.
That is during the week. From let's say if they lose Saturday afternoon,
Yes.
Saturday night, the
Yes.
game is on. Sunday morning is on
Oh,
repeat.
the repeat.
Monday is on repeat. 5 minutes highlight,
Yes.
10 minutes highlight,
Yes.
30 minutes highlight.
Yes.
Then all the analysis shows they all seem to focus on that particular.
When you open your socials, it will be
They
there.
enter you.
Yeah, that's what it
They
is.
enter you.
For this mistake, why did this mistake? Why did the guy
You
do
live with
that
it.
mistake?
You live with it. Anyway, Sunday, please, Sunday,
Yes.
listeners. It's happening. Roadshow, Starbucks.
It's a different vibe when you are watching football and there are lots of people around. Everyone is a coach.
And when the ball goes in, and the way people jump and run around,
you just be hugging strangers completely, right?
That's what it is. That's the spirit of football. I mean, it's beautiful.
It's a mood. So this weekend is happening.
Yep. Sunday,
Sunday, and it's at East Legon Starbites. Yep. So do well to pass by. Benjamin Ketcher, thank you for passing through.
Appreciate you guys.
It's been fun having you around, man. Abontin, brother. Yeah, so we'll link up again, man. We have other things to talk about this morning. We'll be sharing them with you. This one is quite troubling. So from that fun note, we'll jump into this story that has come up with respect to the two teenagers in Kaswa. We'll be getting to that shortly. But imagine launching your career, starting your own business, or embarking on advanced studies within 6 months of graduation. At Ashesi, that's nearly every graduate's reality. From Accra to Nairobi, London to New York, Ashesi graduates are noticed and they are leading successful careers. So regardless of what you choose to study, an Ashesi education gives you a strong foundation for life. So visit ashesi.edu.gh to learn more about the Ashesi Advantage. Remember, admission is ongoing. And get ready also for a game changer as an SME. We are introducing the Yellow Biz, our new multi-service bundle with everything you need for smarter business solutions. This all in one package consists of 4G plus router with 10 gigabyte of free data, Microsoft Office 365, genuine Microsoft applications. We have the WebWiz Unicom service on all you can think of at a good deal you don't want to miss. MTN Yellow Biz, your business will gain access to advanced productivity tools, a powerful online presence, and superior customer experience to optimize your operations. To stay ahead of the competition, call 100 or 02443018 111 0244308111 or email us at mtnbusiness.gh@mtn.com. Visit mtn.com.gh/business or any MTN office for your Yellow Biz and stay connected everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply. So, I mean, after about 2 or 3 years, there is finality to that gruesome murder of a teenager in Kaswa by his fellow teenagers. And we have seen that.
I won't say a teenager because the boy in question, the deceased, was 10 at the time.
He was 10.
So he was preteen.
That was a preteen. Yes. So the victim was a preteen.
Yes.
At a point, we heard the prosecution say that he was buried alive by these guys. He eventually passed. We are told that one of them, who was 18, has been, as it were, jailed. He's been sentenced to life. Yes,
been sentenced to life.
What are the details we are learning, Nathan?
Well, we do know, and like you rightly said, the case happened in 2021, and we have been going in and out of court. The state had been trying to find a resolution to this matter. And after 3 years or so, yesterday the court pronounced that one of the two teenagers involved in the gruesome murder, Nicholas Kinney, had been sentenced to life imprisonment by a high court in Accra. And he was convicted. Okay, so yes, the two, or the Nicholas Kinney and this other suspect whose name has been withheld because he's a minor at the time, they lured the victim into an uncompleted building and killed him with the intent to use his body parts for rituals. But of course, they were not successful and they were caught. So if you go to the story, the two teenagers, they were charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit murder and the substantive charge of murder. Now, the court during the prosecution's case heard that the young boy was still alive when the convicts buried him in a shallow grave. Really disturbing. And the minor involved in the case had confessed to the crime both at the district court during the committal and the high court where they stood trial. Now, he subsequently pleaded not guilty to murder, but pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit murder. The court entered a plea of not guilty for him. And Nicholas Kinney, the 18-year-old, he denied the offense both at the district court and pleaded not guilty to conspiracy to commit murder and the substantive charge of murder at the high court. In his defense before the court, when his lawyer asked him to tell the court what he knew, he said he did not know anything about the death of this 10-year-old by name Ishmael Mensah.
So those are the details that have come out so far.
So a few more, just a few more details. The investigator told the court that one of the accused had confessed that he hit the deceased with a cement block, which later broke into pieces after landing on the forehead of the deceased. And a pathologist at the police hospital, ACP Ose Owusu-Afriye, gave the cause of death as severe head injury from blunt trauma and asphyxiation, which is being choked, if you like, or being breathless, because he was buried alive. So those were the case. The judge took time to summarize the case for the jury, as well as directed them on what the law said and the threshold the prosecutor or the prosecution must meet. And then after that, Justice Mafo decided to give her judgment.
And in the judgment of Justice Mafo, she made some very profound statements that makes for pondering, that parents of the present generation are asleep, while children who should be asleep by them are widely awake. The consequence is a silent pandemic eroding our society and condemning our future generation to a life of trauma. She also quoted a former First Lady of the United States, Hillary Clinton, that when parents neglect their children, society pays the price. Nothing but parental neglect has brought us this far. If we don't take care, the very foundation of this nation will be destroyed. We do not have the benefit of the full judgment of Justice Mafo, but these are very profound statements.
They are.
Have you seen the full one here?
No. If you go to citynewsroom.com, I believe that some of the facts there kind of speak to some of these things. For example, it says, according to investigators, the first accused admitted during interrogation that the plan to kill the victim stemmed from watching a video of a spiritualist who promised wealth in exchange for 5,000 cedis and human blood. Okay, and so they said the first accused revealed that he contacted the second accused, Nicholas Kinney, the 18-year-old, who suggested that they should consult the fetish priest. The priest allegedly demanded 5,000 cedis and human blood. So as part of the plot, they first intended to kidnap the boy, then demand ransom from his parents. So they lured the victim. Once they struck his head with a stick, later with cement blocks after pleading for mercy. The boy was buried alive, with the pathologist testifying that the cause of death was suffocation, or the technical term, asphyxiation.
I see.
So, and I mentioned this first part when in relation to what the judge said about parental responsibility. I'm asking myself, the first accused, who's 15, per the facts on citynewsroom.com, how is it that he's watching a priest or whatever on television? Why is nobody supervising what he's watching? Because at 15, you are still a child, technically, even though you are a teenager. You are still under parental supervision. Why was he watching that? Why was there no adult around to ensure that what he consumes is filtered, is regulated? Because we have to admit, a lot of young people, especially children, pick up things they watch, either from the cartoons they are watching or whatever it is they are seeing. They pick up things. Children pick up a lot of things from what they see. These days you have young children speaking a certain way because of the cartoons they are watching, right? They're very exposed to a lot of things. So I side with the judge completely that parents will have to do a better job of keeping their children in check. If not, these are the things that potentially could happen, because when you have children who are not unchecked and supervised, once they start to go out of control, it creates a problem for all of us, because this teenager has created a big problem for his parents. They'll have to deal with this for the rest of their lives. They are scarred with it. You are scarred with it, because if you are going in, I'm talking about the 15-year-old, if you are going in for life, that's your entire life gone. Even if you are pardoned at a point and you come back, how are you going to reintegrate? So we must have a serious conversation about doing things or regulating what children get to watch, especially on television. And to build on top of that, that is where regulation, especially from the part of the state, needs to be very strong. There's a notice in the Daily Graphic today about a number of television stations who have been called by the NCA to come for a meeting. It's somewhere, I think, in the first few pages. And as we're doing the newspaper review, it struck me that a number of TV stations, Richard, you found it. Which entity is calling them for the meeting? I think it's the NCA.
Public announcement, meeting with media houses cited in media monitoring for offensive content.
Brilliant.
Now, owners of the following media houses are invited to a discussion with the National Media Commission on the regulatory implications of their broadcast
NMC.
content.
How many? There are how many of them there?
So 44.
44.
So maybe later it will be useful to
mention them.
44 for content that the NMC deems to be bad or wrong or not conducive, inappropriate.
Yeah.
So when we talk a lot about, and again, I'm not shielding parents. Parents will have to do their part, but the state will have to do its part in terms of filtering what goes onto the screen. Because from the facts of the story, this one boy and this 18-year-old saw something on television. They were drawn to it. They took further steps to even contact this person in question who demanded 5,000 cedis from a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old and human blood. That's serious. That's gruesome. So the state will have to do a better job of monitoring the things that appear on television, especially when a lot of these televisions are not paid for platforms. So there's no restriction. You know, when you have to pay for a service, the money is a restriction. But it is not, because it's free to air digital, blah, blah, blah. Scan your TV and boom, they are there. So many television platforms putting God knows what on television. I've seen some of them, and some of the content I cannot believe. And you have children getting access to them because their parents are somewhere working and in their daily bread, blah, blah, blah. And you could have all these dangerous things happening in society. So I hope that this case will not only, yes, it will give closure to the family, but you see, it leads us down the journey of regulating content on one hand, but also getting parents to be a bit more interested in the lives of their children or the children who have been placed in their care. Because how on earth is a 15-year-old getting to see some of these things on television to the point where it festers in his mind and he proceeds to commit such a ghastly crime? How?
Unbelievable. You know, the fact that the NMC, yes, Sky, you have the list of the stations that the NMC wants to have a meeting with, right?
Yeah, and the meeting will be held on Thursday, October 31, 2024 at 10 a.m. At the International Press Center. And the first one is Adrimpa TV.
Okay.
Followed by UTV.
I see.
Asomafo TV.
Asomafo TV.
Or Asomafo TV. Yeah. Elephant TV. XTV. Benedict TV. ABTV. Express TV. Enidasopa TV.
Okay, Enidasopa.
Yeah. Akasanoma TV. Diamond TV. TV Magic. VIP TV. Breeze TV. Starboy TV.
What?
Big TV.
Starboy TV.
Yeah. Today's TV. Passion TV. Funny TV. Best TV. Simple TV. Energy TV. Lucky TV. Nkambom TV. Seekers TV. Fly TV. Mejefo TV. Mejefo. Okay. Hymns TV. Run TV. ATV. Movement TV. 7 TV.
Hey.
Nsroma TV.
Instruma
TV. Okay. Unique TV. Akomapa TV, Home TV, Kuma Plus TV, Eagle TV, Advice TV, Golden TV, Garden TV, Goodness TV, Oyerepa TV and Radio, and Asumdwe TV.
Wow.
Please kindly note the date, time, and venue. Thank you.
So these are attending a meeting. They are supposed to attend the meeting for showing unregulated stuff on their platforms.
Yeah. It says meeting with media houses cited in media monitoring for offensive content. Now, offensive means that it's wide, and it must capture quite a lot of things. You know, we have repeatedly complained about some TV channels using or airing adult content in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. When I also honestly don't know what goes through the psyche of the TV station owner or manager to allow that level of rot to fester. Either by, first of all, corrupting himself and then watching his staff go ahead to do those kinds of things. Because, I mean, if you are a father, right, and you are in your home, would you honestly say that it is okay to open such a TV channel and be watching such content with your kids watching with you? I think it is the highest level of irresponsibility.
Yes.
That would drive a person owning a radio or television station to allow such things to be aired. I mean, it is not all about money. We appreciate that there are difficulties in the market. Newspapers are struggling to survive. Television stations are struggling to survive. Radio stations are struggling to survive. We do know that there is intense competition for the limited resources that are out there. And then we also do know that there are many fake guys in the system who are willing and ready to fork out whatever amount they have or they can command to actually pay for airtime and show all kinds of things. There are many quacks in the system who come to you, and because of the difficulty in getting adverse, revenue or all these sources of making money, people are turning their backs on the principles that should guide the use of mass media organizations. So that instead of thinking through, how can I go into partnership with some, institution and make some money off donors to be able to complement what I do? How can I go into partnership with commercial institutions interested in promoting responsible journalism so that I can get some money from there and then complement what I do? How can I go into outdoor events in a responsible way, ensure that I'm serving the public need, while at the same time ensuring viability of my station? But many of the media owners or the people running them are not in the business of big thinking. They don't want to do rigorous thinking. What is available there, no matter how bad it is, they want to bring it into the studio and just play it raw. They want to invite people without any rigorous background check. They bring them to the studio. Once the person says that, I can pay for this or comfort, that is not to say that, look, we understand that we are in is it called religious plurality?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that is there. But I mean, which responsible media owner should sit at home and watch somebody say that I'm doubling money? And you have cameras on the person and you are selling that to your audiences. I mean, that's the highest level of irresponsibility you can expect. So things that hitherto were confined to small spaces and sometimes word of mouth will get other people to go to those spaces and patronize them. These things are now on the mass media so that it is easily available. You are driving to the house, you flip through the channels, and the kinds of things that you hear
And many of the offensive ones are in the local languages. Sit back at home, they listen to radio, they watch television, and they reflect. They will be so sad within their souls that this was what they fought for. Because when they were fighting a military dictatorship, to be able to force a situation where we'll have media plurality, so that would advance the cause of free speech, development, and all the things that come with it. Commercial viability of businesses within the system. Their dream was really, really big.
Sky, let me avert your mind to what Justice Lady Osafo Osei Mafo said in her ruling, that parents of the present generation are asleep, while their children, who should be asleep by them, are widely awake. The consequence is a silent pandemic eroding our society and condemning our future generation to a life of trauma. She also said nothing, this is quoting Hillary Clinton, nothing but parental neglect has brought us this far. Basically saying that when parents neglect their children, society pays the price. You see that today, parents are busy looking. I get that. I
want to push back a little bit.
Okay.
You see, with great respect to the respected judge, this is not a today's problem.
That's true.
There's always an adage in our local language. So you have the ever say that or which they can say
right.
You understand? And then of course if you go back to the ever language, they will say that oba agama kuda fuji yo agama.
Which means what?
Okay, which is to say that let's say for instance the agama what is it, the lizard, the one that changes color,
the chameleon.
The chameleon, yes, right. Is dead on a drum. Now when they mention the drum, of course they would mention the agama too, right? Which is to say that there are times that you assume that as for this one is not my problem, right? But once there's problem, they will mention you and they will mention your son, they will mention you, they will mention your child. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is that it is not that it is now, it's not today's development. It's just that maybe access to all kinds of things has actually made the thing grow exponentially.
And
then also competition. You want to survive in society. Previously, largely our women were at home, the men were out there farming, and then we'll bring stuff home so that the women play the key role. Yes. These days, because of the economic difficulties, the men are out there sometimes, the women are also out there in the market buying. So basically nobody is watching the kids. And then also Martin Pebu, who was representing one of either the two of them or one of them, said something really, really instrumental yesterday, that many of the kids involved in these dastardly, crimes you see around are from broken homes. So the man is somewhere, the woman is somewhere, divorced because of divorce, and that plays a part in impacting how the children grow up. Of course, you would always have a situation where the man is somewhere trying to, develop himself further, or he's outside the country, attending to responsibility to earn money and bring it back home. But broken homes is not the same as somebody elsewhere making sure that you're trying to do his best for the family. The point I'm making is that it is not that it is just happening. It's not just happening.
It is systemic.
It's always been there. Maybe it is now more pronounced. You understand? And to get back to the matter of television or radio and how it's impacting,
and even social media.
Yeah, that's right.
Sky.
The truth is that you go into many homes, right? They have a television in the house, but it is a single room. Now, if you don't filter the content at the national level, as to ensure that you have the right things on television.
Yes, that's.
If the kids live in the same house with their dad, the same single room like this place, They don't have their washroom in there. They have the washroom elsewhere. But there is a television, and then they have some small bed that they sleep on. The kids sleep on the floor. Whatever the mother is watching or the father is watching, the kids are likely to feed on that. So if you don't have a way of filtering what gets on national media, then given the social problems that we have, the housing problems that we have, and the incapacity on the part of parents to say, no, as for this one, you can't watch it, go out and play, right? Or even if you are showing it in the night, kids sometimes will cover their head and pretend that they are sleeping. They are watching that which you are watching.
But
so,
Sky, the other point is that if and that's for those who may not have enough resources to have multiple televisions in their home and all. But now a lot of the kids who also then have access to their own tablets, very young, will not do anything else. All they want to do is to be on their gadgets, and their parents will allow it because they also have to attend to other things. So I get that point, and the balance is what I'm trying to bring. That I mean, a lot of parents are leaving a lot of things to chance for the convenience that when the kids have those tablets, they stop crying and they're able to focus on other things. So whatever the kids are asking for, they are also providing so that they can have their peace of mind to do other things. So the parenting question in today's world has become a very difficult one, and I think that a greater part of the responsibility, much as the state has a role to play in regulating, the school has a role, the church has a role. Parents, I mean, charity, I was told, begins at home. Everything, the foundation of everything that we know and are, is a reflection of who we are and where we are from. That's why if you go out there and you misbehave, people ask you, who are you? What's your name? Which family are you from? And why are you doing this? Do you understand? So your parents, first of all, even your own siblings will not allow you to engage in certain things. But now it appears that we are losing it. And I'm happy to take voices from our listeners on this particular one because, well, it's very dicey.
I think this speaks to, and like we've tried to decouple the various themes, it speaks to a number of things. Regulation, parental, and state. And effectively, that for me, that's the biggest takeaway. Regulation, what gets onto the screen. So at the level of the state, how is it filtering out what's not palatable for children of a certain age or people of certain ages?
How about communal correction?
Of course. Then
we are gradually losing that.
Socialization.
There was no way I would go and misbehave in town and expect that by the time I get home, somebody will not come and tell my dad or my mom.
They'll even equip you before.
That's right. They will deal with you before, by the time you get home, then the house will also deal with you. The question is, do we have that these days? No, because we have come to a point where we say modernity. And that is my child, so you have no business, getting involved. Not even the state should even get involved in how I discipline, my boy or my girl. So that people go out, they misbehave, and then society doesn't do anything. As for this one, Onyemi Bao. So just a couple of days ago, I went to buy something somewhere close in the Kanda area. Then as I was buying the thing, then there was this young boy who was just misbehaving, saying all kinds of things. And then there was a man who had come to see the owner of the shop, the woman. And the young boy, he must have been about 6-7 years old.
Was all over the place.
And then was all over the place and saying all kinds of very offensive things. So the guy grabbed him and then spanked him like 5 times. The boy started crying. And then the kinds of things that flowed from his mouth, directed at
the elderly person.
Charlie.
Wow.
Like I was in awe. I say, whoa.
You can't do this.
I couldn't possibly believe it. Like, I said, what? Like, how is that? So I told the mother that, look, you see,
the boy's mother was around.
Yeah, the boy's mother was around.
And she didn't reprimand him.
So I told her that, look, you have a responsibility. Because this young man is clearly acting in excess of what is requires society, in society.
Society requires it.
So you need to be firm going forward to actually get it out of him. Of course, kids will always they always find ingenious ways of doing harm to themselves. Yes, pushing the boundaries and doing harm to others. But there are things there's a minimum decorum that you expect from a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old. Where they act in excess of that, it means that there's a problem somewhere. And look, I actually hope that she was able to do that after I had left. Because as I was driving home, I was thinking, so, you see, there are two things. There are times our parents will tell you that there's jimakpala, which is that you were not properly raised.
Yeah,
right?
There's klamase.
There is also klamase, which is to say that, yes, your parents tried their very best.
But you refuse training.
Exactly. You have that. So sometimes we have to cut our colleague parents from slack.
Some kids that
they just you try whatever.
The new generation of kids are very
I don't think we should be saying that. It is almost always a question of what is around them, what they are seeing, and how they interpret what they are seeing, and hope that they are doing the right thing. You understand? Because look at it. Giving your daughter or your son access to the computer is not necessarily a bad thing. Because, look, I'm studying artificial intelligence law for business now. And I know the difficulty I'm having to go through trying to understand some of the really complex, context and nuances around computer science. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because growing up,
you didn't have an early exposure to computers.
I didn't have an early exposure to it. So I'm now doing about 4 times or 5 times what exactly. If you give your children controlled access to those things, then they pick it up. So they do it with ease. You understand? But in my context, it's an entirely different matter. Now the question is, having given that, what sort of controls are in place to ensure that he is not using that to go onto an X-rated site or watching something that he should not be watching? Kids always have a very, very creative way of getting around some of the solutions you push across. But you still have to do your very best. Sometimes you do your very best and it comes to really nothing. But we can't afford to take our legs off the pedal. And society has a role to play. If you see someone's kids misbehaving somewhere, intervene in a truly responsible way. If you have to grab him by the hand, show me your house. You drag him to the house and then you report and hope that because honestly, today you as a parent, you might close your eyes to the kinds of things that he's doing or she's doing and assume that, as for today's generation, he will go out there, bring shame, and disgrace and problem to the house. So we have that responsibility. Listeners listening to us, we don't have all the solutions. I'm sure that you are wiser than us. You can send in your voice notes with some of the recommendations that can help us deal with this particular problem. Because really, I grew up in a very traditional home, and there are things I wouldn't do. Like, as for that one, it's a no.
Yeah.
But today, you see some of the things that
no, because if you go and misbehave, you just know what's going to happen by the time you get home. When they say get home, enter the room, you know that by the time you come out, you are fine. You have eaten a lot of beatings and you're okay. Whatever came over you will be gone. You understand? But now also, we seem to be saying, let's not use the corporal punishment also. Let's just talk to the kids and all of that.
Even if it is the talking that we want to do, I still believe I'm not yet a parent. Okay, I'm not yet a parent. But when I look at even my own circumstance and growing up, and meeting other people, you realize that even you are not laying a hand on your child, reprimanding them helps, bringing them in line, because there are certain things you should not be doing. I go back to this story. How is a 15-year-old?
They want
15.
money.
15.
He's asked for 5,000.
15 years. He's
blood.
watching television. He's been asked to bring human blood and 5,000 CDs. And he ponders on it so much so that he consults another person 3 years older, and they collude and commit such a crime. So as a parent, that's why I go back to parents. How is a 15-year-old is watching this? Why are you not regulating what that 15-year-old is watching?
Yeah. So,
do you know that your 15-year-old's friends, who is he or she hanging with?
That's a very good question. Because even communications loves good manners.
Who are they hanging out with?
Many of these things they pick up from school.
But who are they hanging out with?
And the community generally.
So I believe there's a lot we must, parents, maybe teachers, religious leaders, the general society, the state itself. And the state may not be able to reach into your home and tell you how to train your child. But what the state can do is filter the content so much so that a 15-year-old will not get access to watch some of these things.
And also, why would an 18-year-old be thinking of getting rich?
That's a good question. We'll come back
to.
That's
society.
That's a good question. We'll be coming back
These
to.
These days, we are praising all kinds of things.
What we celebrate, where we place value. When we go for this quick break, we'll be returning to attempt to answer all these questions, and we'll love to take some of your comments as well. Again, what is the challenge of today's parent? 0549986996. What's the challenge of today's parenting that we can all judge about and look at how to get things better? We'll take a very quick break. When we are back, more of that and your comments.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Light off. No problem. Experience 2 days battery power with the Samsung Galaxy A06. Switch to Awesome.
Please, how much is the rice?
It depends on size, no. 5 kilogram, no. And no for 120 Ghana cedis. 120 Ghana cedis? Ayo, right now, the importers are complaining about the high dollar rates, taxes, and import duties. So they have also increased prices. You can ask around.
But this same bag was 25 Ghana cedis in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
You see, elections have consequences. Today, when you complain, government says Russia and Ukraine war.
And you are forgetting COVID-19.
One bag of cement in John Dramani Mahamad's time, 2016, was 24 cedis. But now it has crossed 100 Ghana cedis under the NPP. The dollar was 4 cedis under Mahama. But today, it is 16 Ghana cedis under the watch of Mr. Economic Fundamentals. These are the people who told us that Yetisikaso and accommodate.
Hey, Erade, ya too ababoni all the sweet promises have turned out to be 419.
Madam, we are all suffering. We really need a tried and tested, experienced and visionary leader who can reset our country and lead us to build the Ghana we all want.
Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Ghana's biggest housing event, the Mikasa Home and Property Fair, is here. Whether you're looking to buy an elegant house, a cozy apartment, or genuine land, come and meet over 50 top developers, home loan specialists, home improvement specialists, and get personalized expert advice on your home ownership journey. Also, join in informative and stimulating seminars with industry experts and get the chance to network all for free. Date, 2nd and 3rd November 2024. Venue, Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. Time, 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. each day. Attendance is absolutely free. Headline sponsor, Gold Key Properties. Platinum sponsor, Clifton Homes. Media partner, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. To exhibit at the fair, contact us on 050-168-0737 or info@mikasa.com. Mikasa.com, Ghana's #1 property website.
Be awesome and switch to Samsung Galaxy A06. It's affordable yet powerful. Visit your nearest shop and buy now.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Wow. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
Please, how much is the rice? It depends on size, no. 5 kilogram, no. And no for 120 Ghana cedis. 120 Ghana cedis? Ayo, right now, the importers are complaining about the high dollar rates, taxes, and import duties. So they have also increased prices. So you can ask around.
But this same bag was 25 Ghana cedis in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
You see, elections have consequences. Today, when you complain, government says Russia and Ukraine war.
And you are forgetting COVID-19.
One bag of cement in John Dramani Mahama's time, 2016, was 24 cedis. But now it has crossed 100 Ghana cedis under the NPP. The dollar was 4 cedis under Mahama. But today, it is 16 Ghana cedis under the watch of Mr. Economic Fundamentals. These are the people who told us that Yetisikaso and accommodate.
Hey, Erade, Yaktu Ababoni, all the sweet promises have turned out to be 419.
Madam, we are all suffering. We really need a tried and tested, experienced and visionary leader who can reset our country and lead us to build the Ghana we all want.
Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
All right. What happens when ancient days meet modernity? What happens when a goddess wakes up in an era of digital chaos? Witness the epic battle between the past and the present. Catch the intrigue and suspense in Amwanime's era, a brand new epic telenovela showing Mondays to Fridays on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and Go TV channel 102. Available on DSTV Access and Go TV Plus. Dial *759# to stay connected.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
For life, and the other one who has been sent to a juvenile court. Very worrying situation, reflecting on the challenge of today's parents. Some of your voice notes are in. We'd like to share them with you.
Yeah, good morning, City team. I'm George from Airport City. I believe everything lies with the state because parents cannot police their kids 24/7. I'm a father, I have 2 kids. You can't police your kids 24/7. So you need a system to even protect you and help you groom the children. I have a daughter who was watching cartoon the last time. Luckily, I was there. As she was watching, suddenly an advert came and it's a ritualist. Because I was there, I put up the TV. If we have a control system that no TV station is allowed to put such content, the kids will not be exposed to them in the first place. So I believe it's more of a structural problem. We don't have the right people in the right places to take the right decisions. And also, the communal reprimand Sky was talking about is a good thing. But these days, with our social media and our way of getting everybody on video, if you try to reprimand somebody's child, the next thing you realize you'll be in court. So it's a serious thing that our regulators need to look at and take action on. For disciplining somebody's child, it will be difficult because in our schools today we don't beat the kids again, but we all understand nobody is wiser than God. And
Caleb and Nathan and Sky. Good morning. My name is Eric from Koforidua. You see, I think that our over dependence on foreign rules is part of the reason. You know, when we're growing up, when you mess up, your parent will spank you. When you go to school, they use cane there. When you misbehave in the house, your father will use cane on you. So most of us, we grew up fearing our fathers. You see, and we were not exposed to certain kind of content that children are exposed to on television these days because of irresponsible content creation. I don't know whether I could call that content, but most of the things that Ghana television stations are putting out there, it's nothing to write home about. And when I think about this thing, the whole thing goes back to poverty. Okay, Sky made a point about it being the case of broken homes, and I think it is about poverty. Broken home must be very little in this, because if two people, a man and a wife, are broken up and both of them are equally very rich, the raising of the kid will be different. No, it doesn't matter who is in possession or in custody of those kids. The raising of the kids will be different from a poor home. So the whole idea is about poverty. The parents, the father is mostly not at home, the mother is in the market somewhere, and the children are on their own. You see, and we over depending on rules, the way foreigners raise their kids, and we want to also do that here. That is the problem.
Caleb and Sky. Indeed, the topic under discussion is a very big one. That is a very, worrying situations in our Ghanaian society, for that matter, our homes. If you look at the way things are happening, and that of the way children are picking up certain, behaviors and characters, deviant behaviors, for that matter, is very worrying. So to me, I think our traditional authorities in every area in our community should come out with a stern warning or plans or kind of a statement to parents in the community that should they see your child or your ward putting up a deviant behavior that is a threat to society, you such parents, you'll be halted to the palace, and the committee that is put in place would keep eyes in the community, checking children who are engaging in all kinds of deviant society, smoking, influencing each other, having knives, guns on them, going to school. So I think if our traditional leaders and that of religious leaders team up together and in every community send a stern warning to parents that if you are a parent and your ward is going in a certain way, they will look for that child and look for you, that parent, unless they tell us that such parents are not having mother or no father. Then
yeah, Caleb, good morning to you and the Citi Breakfast Show team, Richard Delasky and then Nathan Oboda Kwao. I think you people, I totally associate myself to you this morning, especially the topic that you are discussing. In fact, this nowadays, our systems has been changed. It wasn't like that as back days. But counting out the getting to the late 2000s, that means 2002 thereabouts up to now, you also see that now changing children you cannot able to let me say advise a child or give him a corporal punishment as it used to be in days. So this has been a worrisome situation, and I think we all have to bring our bring our hands at the deck on deck.
Some of your voice notes on the subject matter we've shared with you. There are a few more and some text messages, WhatsApp messages as well. Fred Tejabano, the producer of the show, says he is not going to do bad parenting. So you make sure I keep to the time. So let me bring you some of your text messages, your WhatsApp messages rather quickly. Good morning, City. In all this, I also blame the society and the police. Imagine if these boys had been successful in what they wanted to do. They would become rich and no one is allowed to question the source of their wealth, not even the police. That's true. You didn't add your name though. But where's the ritualist these guys saw on TV though? This one says, I was raised in prison barracks. I remember I went to do Kongbe, that is second harvest in people's farm. Okay. By the time I got home, my dad had already planned. He hid behind the door and I can still remember how he disciplined me. Not this generation. Robert Atieku from Sheffield, UK, send that through. Good morning, City team. The state institutions mandated to control content on TV have failed in their duty. My little girl was watching cartoon and suddenly the TV station switched from cartoon to a ritualist advert. I was lucky to have been there. George from Kaswa, send that through. Come back to this and some of your messages coming through soon. Some are arguing that it's not broken homes at all, neither is it poverty, it's values that parents are failing to insist. But we have friends from the IDP Foundation in the studio. They are here because they have attained their 15th anniversary. It's worth celebration. And Stephen Caleb Opuni is Regional Director for Africa IDP Foundation, Inc. Vincent Amposa is Head of Business, Sinapi Aba Savings and Loans. Mrs. Maureen Akwe is Proprietor for Royal Gospel School, Latebio Koshi Accra. And they are here for the IDP's Foundation's 15th anniversary. Stephen, good morning to you. Oh, that's my namesake.
Yeah,
you're
good
welcome.
Morning, Caleb. Yes,
it's good to see you.
We share a name, Caleb.
Yeah, you're a mighty man.
Yeah, and I think we also share beyond the name also a sense of humor. I really love your sense of humor.
Nice one. It's good to have you.
It's a pleasure being here.
Happy to have you, Stephen Caleb Opuni, and then Vincent Amposa, Head of Business, Sinapi Aba Savings and Loans. Happy to have you. Madame Maureen, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Wonderful. What's IDP Foundation? What's IDP?
Yeah, thank you, Caleb, and a good welcome. Good morning to your listeners.
Yes.
IDP Foundation is a private family foundation.
Okay.
Our origins are from the U.S.,
okay.
So it's a private American family foundation.
Private American family foundation. Okay.
We've been working in Ghana for the past 15 years.
Wow.
And education has been the main focus of our work, and specifically supporting the affordable non-state education sector. Which includes low-fee private schools.
Low-fee private schools.
Yeah, and so we've been working within this space for the past 15 years. Yeah.
Right, so this is a private foundation. And so how do you operate? Give us an idea,
So, foundations are set up, to support a lot of social sectors, so IDP Foundation is an American family foundation.
Yes.
And set up basically to support education. And we've been
in
working
private schools.
Yeah, so the affordable non-state education sector. And these are private schools that are serving poor and underserved communities.
Okay.
So if you look at our education space in Ghana, 1 in 3 kids is likely to be served by a private school.
Right.
And so within this 1/3, a good amount of them are low-fee private schools.
Okay.
And these are the kind of schools you find in underserved communities,
okay.
as well as communities where there are low-income
low-income communities,
in terms of their economic status. Yeah, and so our work has generally been able to support programs, develop programs that are targeting these schools.
Okay, let me come to Vincent now. And there's this thing you call the Rising Schools module. How was it developed? What is it about? And what are the key drivers that were envisaged in creating a successful market-based solution? The risk involved.
Okay, thank you very much, Caleb. I work for Sinapiaba.
Okay.
But there's a good partnership between Sinapiaba and IDP Foundation.
Okay.
So 15 years ago, IDP came to Ghana, that is the foundation, saw the need to work with underserved and underprivileged private schools.
Right.
So they looked around and wanted an organization that shared the same vision and the same goal, which they saw that in Sinapiaba. Partnered with Sinapiaba and developed this solution to work with underprivileged private schools.
Right.
And this program is a tailor-made solution that seeks to address these underprivileged private schools by giving them some tailor-made trainings customized for low-fee private schools, building the capacity of these private schools, I mean the underserved and the underprivileged private schools. After this training, they qualify to take some loans that will help them develop their schools.
Oh.
So this is a sustainable model that has been in Ghana for 15 years, and we have worked with so many schools in Ghana across the country.
And I am guessing that Royal Gospel School at Latebia Koshi is one of the beneficiaries of these schools we are talking about.
Yeah.
Madam Maureen, could you tell us more about this partnership and how relevant it has been?
I think like 7 years back, I went for the training. It really helped me a lot. I was able to take care of my accounts, and look for additional income to help with the running of the school. And then again, I had land, but I didn't have money to build.
Right.
And I realized the kids I wanted to have more, kids coming in, because the area is Sukura, Latebia, Koshi, thereabout.
Right.
And it's a low income, single mothers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I went, after the training, I went to Snappy, and they gave me my first loan, which was, I think was 20,000 at the time, I think, yeah.
7 years ago.
Yeah. And I was able to build one classroom. And then after paying it off, they kept giving. Now we have up to GHS 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
From no classroom at all for the expansion.
We had
something before.
Yeah. We had like 5 classrooms, but now we have 2-story and then a 1-story thing.
Wow.
In addition to.
And all that is coming from this unique partnership between IDP, Sinapiaba, and your school.
Yes.
Wow. That's quite interesting. So we are talking low-fee private schools. How often are they regarded as too risky, and what has been your experience working with them? I'm talking about Vincent, right?
Okay,
Low private schools when they're coming for loans.
Okay, so in banking, some customers or some people are seen to be risky, which of course low-fee private schools are considered as such. Yes, it is a fact, but then what we saw as a program is that though they are risky, but you need to understand them. Banking without understanding the customer is like you are not doing anything. So we understanding them, developing tailor-made solutions that will address the unique needs of these schools. If you fail as an organization or as a program to address this, then you are totally failing. That was what we did, where we did a study and we realized there are key challenges that these schools have. They've designed tailor-made solutions and we addressed those challenges.
Right. Stephen, it's been 15 years of doing this.
Yes.
We've seen the impact you're making from the account of Mrs. Maureen Akwe. Now, let's talk about collaborations and partnerships with government and stakeholders. How critical has that been? And moving forward, how can that help revolutionize the educational system?
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. And I need to say that education as a social sector requires an all-hands-on-deck approach. Yeah, and we need all actors to be around the table to make it work. And so for us, partnership and effective, trusted collaborations are very important. And so over the years, over 15 years, We've had really strong partnerships. The first key partner is, of course, the duty bearer, which is the Ministry of Education, its agencies, and the GES. It's very crucial because these set the direction for policy as well as regulation, right? And so you cannot take them out of
the equation.
And so for us, even when we think of what, outcomes and change looks like, we want to see these schools as an integral part of the education system. And we're working with duty bearers to ensure that that is done. Beyond that, it is also trusted partnerships over 15 years with SNAPIABA, for example, and also partnerships with Ghana National Association of Private Schools, NAPS, because it's very critical, right? They represent the voice of these schools, and to ensure that they have a voice at the table in shaping policy and regulations, we need to empower them. So we have, relationships with them, and we support them to build that up. There are a lot of others that we are supporting in this space, and we feel that a lot more needs to come on board, right? Again, I'm bringing you to this key stat: 1 in 3 kids in Ghana is served by private schools. Private schools.
Private schools generally.
And then a good amount of this number are low-fee private schools.
Wow.
So that's something we all need to come to. And when we think of every child being able to access quality education, and it's about everybody coming to the table, right? We need an all-hands-on-deck approach.
Right. So, low-fee private schools, how are you supporting the achievement of this national educational goal we are talking about, Madam Maureen?
You know that the public schools in Ghana can't take all kids, so definitely they need us.
And there's a huge market.
Yeah, yes, and they need us, and of course, a lot of people can't afford the
high-end private schools.
So then they need us, it's because we don't charge that much, but we still want to give them good education.
Right.
So there are a few things that I believe that the either GES, government, education, whoever is in charge, should help us with the low fee private schools. It's something like teaching aids, teaching materials, training. The training should be free. But you'd be surprised that the smallest training that they want to give us, we are charged for it. And everything that the private schools pay is huge. Property rate, 4,000 a year. BOP, it's different. NASIA, we pay practically everything. Suitability reports. Every year they come around to check, and I think the place is suitable, and then you pay for the suitability report. Social welfare, you have to have a certificate every year. It's renewed. You pay for it. It's just too much, and we don't get anything from the government.
Right.
Training is not free. No teaching material. Nothing. But I think something should be done about it, because we are being charged too much for helping. Actually.
In wrapping up, in sum, Stephen, what has been the impact of the program so far, and what does the future hold for IDP as you celebrate your 15th anniversary?
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. So when our funders first came to Ghana, as Vincent talked about, this space of education, the low-fee private school, stood out as a purpose for the foundation. In over 15 years, we've proved that these schools are not as risky as it is. Currently, we have a very good repayment. The schools are able to repay their loans. We've seen a lot of progression, starting from a place where they were very deprived, and with the support that they get, are able to, develop and improve the quality of their providing. Over the years, we've been able to make it very clear that these schools are playing a very critical role.
Right.
Yeah, and they are complementing education, especially in places where public education is not rich, and places where low-income communities are. So it's very, very important.
Right.
And as a foundation, we are committed to continue to support and complement the national education outcomes through the support of these schools.
Right.
When we look into the future, we will sustain our partnerships in Ghana. We'll continue supporting our partners here in Ghana. We looking towards, finding ways of amplifying the impact, right? So currently we have developed a generation empowerment fund that is raising huge sums of money, which would really help to, get more financial partners, more funding, and to improve on some of the quality that we are providing. The last thing I would also mention is that we are also piloting an incentive-linked loan. So, Caleb, think of a situation whereby we are using innovative financing, tying incentives to loans to drive learning outcomes.
Wow.
And this is a pilot we've started in Kenya, and hopefully would bring some of the outcomes here.
Please bring it here quickly.
And we would ensure that
bring it
this
here
sector
quickly.
is on the plate. The voices of those that matter are here, and we are here to also support with the national education outcomes.
Thank you for that. Stephen Caleb Opuni, Regional Director, Africa IDP Foundation. Vincent Ponsa, Head of Business in Apiaba. Thank you for coming. And Mrs. Maureen Akwe, Royal Gospel School at Tabiokoshi. Lady, gentlemen, thank you for passing through the studio, and congratulations on your 15th anniversary IDP.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Caleb. We'll meet at the other side. So we'll take a very quick break. When we are back, we have more of your messages and we'll wrap up. Now, January 2025 admission is in progress. Lead the change with the university built for tomorrow's leaders. Heritage Christian University College is set up to provide a missing link in tertiary education through creativity and innovation. Since 2018, the university has given over 450,000 Ghana cedis as startup grants to a number of students to start their own businesses. There is a huge emphasis on entrepreneurship, technology, and practical learning with professional certification. We have both graduate and undergraduate programs accredited by GTech. We are located at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium. The numbers to call are 0547 777 731 020-229-8399. www.hcuc.edu.gh is the website to check out. Heritage Christian University College is educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. Now get the latest film for yourself tonight and sleep better tomorrow. Sleep better tonight. Since you get it for yourself today, step into any of our showrooms, experience the difference. High quality mattresses, furniture crafted with your ultimate relaxation in your mind. Get into any of our showrooms nationwide. Call 0302-231155, 0302-008499, www.latestfoam.com, Check us out.
Now, since we're talking Premier League, you want to watch the Premier League, but you're always on the move. I have a solution for you. Go to showmax.com, download the Premier League mobile plan, pay only 55 cedis, and you're good to go. Showmax is your stadium on the move. And if you are not getting good insights from your data for decision making, then join the data analytics and AI revolution so you can work smarter, save time, and deliver great insights. Speak to Finex Skills Hub on 0244-782-356 or visit their website Finex Skills Hub to sign up for their corporate and individual training sessions. You learn all kinds of amazing things with Excel and Power BI. Finex Skills Hub, learn, connect, grow.
If you need some money, put your hands up in the air. Light us up, ladies and gentlemen.
To Onana.
Onana.
Yes,
Yeah.
Onana, good
Onana,
morning.
Good morning, good morning. It's a good morning.
It's necessary.
Yeah,
hit it. Good morning. Thank you for listening. My name is Caleb. I was here with Nathan and Richard the last guy. Thanks to the production team. Hawa Idrisu Mustafa is here with the news at 10. Good morning.
Good morning, Caleb. Coming up, 3 people dead.